Miss Milton, you want to do the pledge today?
Be happy to.
Lovely.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right, first order of business, approval of the minutes from June 10th, 2025. Could I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Christine Pistacio, second.
Seconds, okay. Any, look over the minutes, any changes, amendments? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Next is the approval of the minutes from the special meeting held on July 21st, 2025. Motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve. Second that motion.
Chris, seconded by Heather. Again, look those over. No amendments or changes. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. And finally, the approval of the minutes of the special meeting held on July 29th. Do I have a motion to approve?
A motion to approve those minutes?
Okay,
Second.
second by John. Any changes, amendments? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
And I'll turn it over to the superintendent for recognition awards.
Actually, we're starting with Annie Busby, our Teacher of the Year, so come on up. I think you're fine without the microphone.
Yeah, today, and anyone who speaks, we're doing the overhead mic, so you're not gonna have a separate mic because we've found that the audio cuts out on YouTube if we do it. So just make sure that you project up.
Thank you.
So just so everyone knows, Annie is from Kelly Middle School. She's a special education teacher in our STRIVE program, and she's the Teacher of the Year for Norwich Public Schools. She did a really nice presentation at our convocation, and so this is sort of a truncated presentation that she's going to do today. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Board of Education, Norwich community members, and NPS team. It's truly an honor to be selected as Norwich Teacher of the Year, especially in a district full of educators who exemplify greatness every day. I'm grateful to be part of this team, to learn from such dedicated colleagues, strong leadership, and most of all, our students. This is truly a gift. Let me start by sharing a little bit about myself. This year marks my 26th year in education. Over that time, I've worn many hats: paraeducator, special education teacher, dean of students, assistant principal, and principal. I've worked in schools in Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Georgia, and Connecticut, in traditional public schools and charter schools. And in every place, I've had the privilege of working with educators who believe so strongly in supporting all students in working to their greatest potential and instilling in them the critical values that will help them grow into wonderful people. That belief has shaped me into the educator I strive to be every day for my students. Early in my career, I was committed to learning everything I could about working with students with special needs. I observed, I read, I took every PD opportunity I could find, and leaned on the expertise of my colleagues. I learned the importance of building relationships with families, communicating with honesty, and creating programs that truly support our students. That passion led me to school leadership, where I had the honor of serving as an assistant principal and eventually principal of a K-8 school. I learned how to make very difficult decisions in the best interest of students, how to support teachers and families, and how to move a school forward with an incredible team. Those were some of the most challenging and rewarding years of my career. But as much as I loved being a principal, I deeply missed the classroom. I missed the direct work with students, especially students in special education. So after 6 years as a principal, I made one of the most difficult but best decisions of my life. I came back to teaching and joined the amazing District of Norwich and the outstanding Strive team at Kelly Middle School. That was 3 years ago, and I haven't looked back. I have found such incredible joy in teaching again, building relationships with my students, seeing their successes, and collaborating with such an outstanding team have reminded me why I fell in love with this work in the first place. Every day, I am motivated to be better and to grow alongside my students. They have reignited a passion in me that I didn't know was possible. They make me excited to come to work each morning, and though I often leave the building feeling completely exhausted, I leave feeling fulfilled. This is, without a doubt, the happiest I have ever been in my career. I was asked to consider what message I would share with fellow educators if given this honor, and to be honest, that was really hard. I am in no way an expert in this field, and to identify a message that I could share with so many exceptional educators is beyond overwhelming. But after many hours of hemming and hawing over this, there is one simple truth that I kept coming back to, one that I remind myself at the beginning of each school year and every day that I enter the classroom throughout the entire year, and that is, my students deserve to have a great teacher this year. All of our students deserve to have great teachers this year. That's what motivates me every single day, and it's something that I know we all believe and strive for. When asked to consider great teachers in our own education, most of us could name 2 or 3 teachers who were truly great and who shaped us into the people who we are today. Now imagine if every child could say that, not 2 or 3, but every teacher every year. Imagine the impact. So what does it take to be that great teacher for our students? Greatness will look different for every educator and for every student. I encourage everyone in this room to reflect on what it means to be great for our students and what it takes for each of us to reach that standard. Is greatness a result of self-reflection, professional development, or collaboration? Is it building great connections with students and families, or a combination of all of these? Maybe it's staying an extra hour to improve a lesson, or taking a few extra minutes to make a positive phone call home. Maybe it's recognizing that taking care of ourselves is essential to taking care of our students. Greatness requires intention, time, and honest commitment, not just to our students, but to our own growth as educators. We must continually ask ourselves, what does each student need today, and how can we meet those needs with greatness? I reflected upon what greatness means to me and how I can continually improve my practice to grow towards greatness for my students. If you know me or have ever been in my classroom, you know I love using alliteration. So here are my 3 guiding principles that help me work towards getting great for my students, stressed through alliteration. And our amazing Kelly Strive students are starring in this slideshow to model the importance and impact of these principles. First, expect excellence, eliminate excuses. The capabilities of our students are endless, and it's our responsibility to help them reach their full potential. That starts with setting high expectations for all students, and more importantly, teaching them to develop the confidence and grit to meet those expectations. Our students need to know that they can be challenged, and that struggle is a big part of learning. They need to understand that embracing challenges is the key to growth. We need to push them to their limits and then celebrate with them when they realize what they've achieved. Excuses are easy. It's easy to focus on the reasons why we can't or why we think our students can't. And let's be honest, striving for excellence is exhausting. But accepting barriers as permanent limitations does an incredible disservice to our students and to ourselves. Excuses will never get us to greatness. We owe it to our students to eliminate excuses and to make sure they don't infiltrate the work that we do every day. I'm a big Ted Lasso fan, and one of my favorite quotes comes from Roy Kent. Don't you dare settle for fine. Fine isn't good enough, not for our students and not for us. Next, reflection is responsibility. Honest reflection is critical for continued growth, both for our students and for ourselves as educators. Each morning, I ask myself what each of my students needs and how I can deliver that with greatness. At the end of the day, I reflect on whether every student received a meaningful and equitable education that day and what I can adjust tomorrow to better support their success. This daily routine of reflection keeps students at the center of my practice and reminds me that every single decision that I make, from planning a lesson to managing a classroom issue, should support their growth. Reflection is what allows us to keep improving, stay accountable, and support the potential in every student we teach. Reflecting is our responsibility to our students and a key component in the continuous growth towards greatness for each of them. And last, the power of positive people. When I was an administrator, one of the most powerful things that I witnessed was the impact of a positive learning environment. Teachers who entered the building every morning excited to see their kids, who fostered a sense of belonging for every student, promoted relationships, and developed a true classroom community. Those were the places where students thrived. In these environments, I witnessed so many students achieving amazing successes, achieving greatness, because they were given the confidence and support that they needed to get there. Upon returning to the classroom, this has been my inspiration and the heart of my journey towards greatness. Positive learning environments are critical for kids. We all know this, and we all work our absolute hardest to create these for our kids. But positive environments don't just happen. They are a result of the people who make them positive. As a team, we need to show our students what it looks like to be supportive of one another. We need to celebrate each other's wins and lift each other up when things are hard. We need to show what it looks like to make mistakes, to reflect, to apologize, and to forgive. Because as we know, when we model behavior, our students notice. And when all of our students begin supporting one another, when they start cheering each other on, helping each other through challenges, and forgiving mistakes, it's magic. That's when we see the true potential, the special gifts, the confidence, and the true love of learning. The power that we have to deliver positivity and create that amazing space to grow for our students and for one another is one of our greatest strengths. When we feel the support of our peers, our possibilities are limitless. The power of positive people is a true key to getting to greatness. Have a wonderful school year, and let's keep working towards getting to greatness for our kids and for each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Annie.
No, are we going to the recognition awards?
We do that we don't do the recognition awards until
Oh,
we start in October.
you've got a whole bunch of things here.
You're on the wrong.
Oh, I'm in June. Oh, good God. No wonder I'm
Back to the
screwed up.
future.
All right. So let's go to middle school happenings.
Yes, you're right.
So we have students from Kelly and from teachers, so you come up. Just introduce yourselves and tell us what's happening. first week of school.
Hello, my name is Jose Rosa, and I am a student at Kelly Middle School who is also the president of the International Flavor Ambassador Society.
My name is Kyan Rodriguez. I've been to teachers for 3 years, and I'm on student council, and I'm doing cross country.
Okay, and the report from Kelly.
Right. We have had a great start to the year. Before school started, we had a back to school night and over 636 people attended. Student council elections to take place this week. We will elect 2 students from each team for each grade to represent the Kelly student body. The student council helps to organize school-wide events and fundraisers. The Norwich Police Department provided ice cream for the whole school last week. Everybody had a great time. 6th grade is planning to go to the CT Science Center. 7th grade is planning their annual partnership with Project O. 8th grade is planning to visit the Mystic Seaport. Our first Cougar Pride Day will take place this week. We are very excited to start team building. Our average daily attendance is 93.8%. I know I'm a legend. Dallas. My bad.
All right, what's happening at teachers?
We've had an awesome start to back to school year. We wanted to thank our custodian staff and our factual department for all their hard work to get the school looking amazing before back to school. Over 360 people showed to the back to school barbecue. Athletes for fall started yesterday with boys soccer and girls soccer and our cross country teams. We will also be holding student council elections in the next 2 weeks. Our annual car wash fundraiser for October 3rd and 4th at Extra Mark at 186 Norwich Avenue in Taftfield.
Okay, could I just ask you to use your outside voice so that they can hear you in the back?
Stop in and get your car looking shiny. 8th grade is planning a field trip to Mystic Seaport, and our daily attendance is 96%.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Semper Fidelis.
Okay, this year we're gonna do the order a little differently. From now on, we're gonna have the report of the chair and the report of the superintendent before public comment. So that'll be for every meeting. So, good afternoon. Welcome to the first Board of Ed meeting for the 25-26 school year. We're happy to welcome back our teachers, principals, staff, and especially our students and their parents. I know that all of Norwich Public Schools is excited to embark on a new season of learning, sharing, and caring. As was recently reported, we finished off last year in the black with a slight surplus. While $450,000 seems like a great deal of money, and it is, it represents about 0.5% out of our total $100 million yearly budget. Comparing it to a budget with, say, $100,000 yearly income, that would be a surplus of about $450. It represents about 1 to 2 days of expenses, depending on if you measure it against an academic year of 180 days or a full fiscal year. We cut it very close. Thankfully, we did not have to ask the City Council for additional funding to balance our books in August. Our board and administration is constantly searching for cost savings measures to properly educate our students while keeping within the constraints of taxpayer and grant funding. With the budget in mind, the hot topic for this year is bus transportation. Our budget request for the year was about a $5 million increase. We only got slightly under $1 million, a 1% increase when wages, tuition, and inflation increases all hover at about 3%. We have to look for savings to stay within our budget. This year, the superintendent instituted an opt-in model for bus transportation. That means that students must sign up for bus transportation. It will not be provided automatically. The only students with door-to-door service are pre-K 3 and 4-year-olds and special education students. All other students have to walk to a common bus stop or directly to school. Many parents have elected to transport their children themselves. This has led to a consolidation of some long-time stops to new areas and caused some confusion at the start of this year. Our staff has addressed over 250 transportation complaints, both by walkers and bus users. Each complaint is checked for student safety as to traffic conditions and sidewalks where available by staff and the police department. A few stops were changed where better alternatives were suggested by parents. After this first week of school, there are very few, if any, outstanding adjustments. If you wish to speak tonight about the transportation issues at public comment, staff and the board will welcome your comments. Unfortunately, we cannot respond to you, but we'll look into your issues, so please leave your contact information on the speaker's sign-up sheet. I assure you that your concerns will be looked into and examined thoroughly. We want your kids to arrive and leave safely and to attend school. School attendance leads directly to student success. We will also have the winter buses this year for the NFA walkers in January through March. We'll notify everyone once those routes are confirmed. Another issue is maintenance vaccinations and COVID and flu vaccinations. There's widespread confusion coming from Washington, with some states crafting their own solutions. Hopefully, Connecticut has a solution for those parents who wish to participate in vaccination. As I support anyone's right not to vaccinate, I believe that those who wish to vaccinate should not have that option denied to them for non-scientific reasons. Giving people no choice in either direction is not the solution. Please talk to your oldest family members, friends, and neighbors, those who are in their 80s and 90s, to learn firsthand about the ravages of common childhood diseases before vaccination was commonplace. Please follow the advice of your trusted family doctors. We're on the cusp of a reverse of public health safety gains over the past 60 to 70 years. My dedications for today I'll title Bears, Cares, the Moon, and Stars. Today's September 9th is National Teddy Bear Day and Care Bear Day to promote sharing and caring. It's also Sudoku Day. The date of 9/9 reminds us of the 9 squares of 9 numbers to solve. It's also Emergency Services Day to commemorate the first responders who help us on our worst days. Also, it's the International Day to protect education from attack. Sadly, since 2018, in the US, there have been 229 school shooting incidents resulting in injury or death, and countless other violent incidents against students, teachers, staff, and even Board of Education members. We're living in very different times. Today's also When Pigs Fly Day. to celebrate creativity and a belief in the impossible. Food-related themes are Wiener Schnitzel Day, Steak au Poivre Day, and International Box Wine Day. Finally, the weirdest day I found was Buy a Priest a Beer Day. I guess any excuse to drink a beer. Sunday night's clouds was hiding the full corn moon, which was also a blood moon caused by a lunar eclipse. Maybe it'll be more visible tonight. The stars having birthdays are Otis Redding, Hugh Grant, Adam Sandler, Henry Thomas, he was Elliot from the E.T. movie, Michelle Williams, and the one that should be declared a national holiday, Colonel Harlan Sanders of Kentucky Fried Chicken fame. And now for the report from Superintendent Lassard.
All right, we're going to begin with the introduction of Liz Taveras, our new MLO coordinator. Liz, you want to come up? I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm happy to share that Liz Taveras has joined Norwich Public Schools as our new multilingual learner coordinator. Liz brings 16 years of experience in education with an extensive background in leading multilingual and bilingual programs. Most recently, she served as an MLO department head in Middletown, where she developed bilingual programs, aligned curriculum to the Connecticut English Language Proficiency Standards, supervised staff, and built systems to support student success. She has also served in leadership roles in Trumbull, New Haven, and Danbury, in addition to teaching at the elementary and high school levels. Fluent in Portuguese and semi-fluent in Spanish, Liz will help strengthen our partnerships with families while supporting the academic success of our multilingual learners across the district. She is collaborative, she's dedicated, and deeply committed to putting students first. Please join me in welcoming Liz to our Norwich Public Schools community. Talk to us about how you feel the first couple of weeks of school.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared, but I have to say that my few weeks here have been incredible. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I have just been impressed by staff, teaching staff, administrators, principals, everywhere I go. Everyone is kind, positive. I've been in some classrooms, I see a lot of great things happening, and you can just tell that it's a feeling, there's a feeling of joy and also hard work going on, but it's really, I'm incredibly thrilled to be here, and I think after my first week I realized I had made a very good choice to be here.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank All right. Next, we have a congratulations in order for our chairman, Mark Poulos, who achieved a level of certificated Board of Education member in the CABE Board Member Academy for the 24-25 school year. So I'm going to read the CABE letter. Congratulations, Mr. Poulos. You have earned CABE's certificated Board of Education member designation. Very few other Connecticut Board of Education members have earned this prestigious honor. With your attendance at numerous CABE and CAPS conventions, CABE workshops, and programs and other events, you have acquired a wide variety of skills, knowledge, and abilities. This is a great accomplishment, and you are to be commended. You have earned the required 20 credits in the areas of board relations, policy, curriculum, school finance, school law, which you shouldn't need any help with, labor relations, and board operations. Enclosed is a press release template for your use. Please share this with your local media outlets. We encourage you to continue to participate in CABE workshops and webinars to further develop your boardmanship skills. Your commitment to public education and to children in your community is admirable. Again, congratulations on accomplishing this difficult and time-consuming feat. Sincerely yours, Patrice McCarthy, Executive Director and General Counsel, and Lisa Steimer, Deputy Executive Director. Congratulations. All right, I know that Mr. Kulos did make a statement on transportation. I'm also going to make a statement. As a district, we follow Board of Education policy when making transportation decisions. Safety is always our first priority when determining routes, stops, and walking distances. Once safety is ensured, we then look at efficiency, making sure buses run on time and resources are used responsibly. Group stops are one way we balance these priorities, and while we understand this may feel inconvenient at times, they allow us to maintain safe, reliable, and consistent transportation for all students. We also keep detailed logs of parent concerns, and when families feel a stop or walking route may be unsafe, our school resource officers are sent to evaluate the area to ensure student safety. In addition, I am in daily contact with our Director of Transportation, Maria Perillo, so that together we can review concerns, monitor routes, and make adjustments as needed to ensure both safety and efficiency remain at the forefront of our transportation system. A scheduled transportation subcommittee meeting was held last night, and Mr. Perry, who's not here yet, he'll be here soon, will be providing a report from that meeting later in this meeting. It's also on the board docs. So he'll be following up with that. Next thing is a budget update. Bob Serpensky and I attended last week's city council meeting to report that we have ended the 24-25 school year with a $458,000 surplus. And I just want to read to the board what I read at the city council meeting. Good evening, mayor, members, and the city council, city manager. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. As you know, we were faced with an unexpected $700,000 expense related to the investigation this year. Despite this, we are currently anticipating that we will remain within our overall budget by the close of the fiscal year. But I want to be clear, this was not easy and it was not without sacrifice. We began preparing early in the school year to be proactive, recognizing that the investigation could extend longer than originally anticipated. Staying on track financially required constant monitoring, careful decision-making, and a disciplined approach to every dollar we spent. We held the line on variable costs, deferred purchases of materials and supplies, and made the difficult decision to delay filling certain vacant positions. These choices often meant asking more of our staff and doing more with less, which they did with professionalism and commitment to our students and our community. We understand that it is our responsibility to stay within our budget, and we take that responsibility seriously. That understanding drove every decision we made throughout the year. This was a collective effort that came at a cost, not a financial one, but one of strain, flexibility, and perseverance. Our ability to close the year without a deficit speaks to the strength and dedication of our entire team. But it is not something we can sustain year after year without severe consequences to programs and services. Thank you to our ad hoc budget committee members for your ongoing partnership and for recognizing the real work and tough decisions that made this possible. And Bob will give more details when he does his report on our end of year. Everybody knows, and I just want to give everyone an update and remind everyone that Teachers Memorial is now Commissioners Network. And I know Ed and his staff, Principal Lavoie and his staff have been working very hard with this new work ahead. I just want to talk about some key areas of progress. Instructional practices, professional development has centered on student engagement strategies and instructional practices with our outside consultants. In the process of implementing a reading intervention program called Readable English, targeted to support specific literacy skills. And staff and students are working together right now to create a supportive and respectful environment. So I have not been in teachers yet since the beginning of the year. I plan on going there tomorrow, but every staff that comes to me has said how different it is in that school. So we're really excited to see the results of all the hard work that the staff is doing over there, and of course the students. So thank you, Principal Lavoie. I do want to let everyone know, we did announce at convocation that we are NIAC accredited, and it was a big task. I think we all talked about this last year at almost every Board of Ed meeting. And I believe Corey Beck would stand up, because congratulations to you and your staff. Corey Beckwith is our early learning coordinator. She's like our principal for our pre-K team, and It was a huge, huge thing for us to get that. So the staff, we surprised the staff, some board members and some city council members. We surprised the staff when they were doing their first PD at Otis Library on the first day back to school, and they were pretty excited. If anybody got to see that video on Facebook, if you haven't, I think you should take a peek because it was pretty cool. And I have two more things. I want to let everybody know about our certified staff vacancies. Our certified staff vacancies, 0. We have 0 certified staff vacancies. Last year, we started with 7. When I went to the commissioner's opening in Hartford today, and I listened to all of our colleagues, 50 openings, 75 openings, so 25 openings. And when I said 0, I felt like 0. So I just think that that really speaks to the staff and how they embrace everyone, administrators, staff, every single person, custodians, and how they treat and respect our staff. They want to come to Norwich Public Schools. So I think that really speaks to Norwich Public Schools. So we're really proud of that. And the last thing I want to talk about, I know that last year, Christine, you were one that said that you would like to have the district-wide events in your hand. So we made copies for everybody so you could see that. So thank you for giving us that information. So you'll notice that in your packets, you have the district-wide events, and they're all at Kelly Middle School. So you have that to save the dates. Also on the back of that, you'll see NFA events and student participation. There's NPS Loft information for you, and then our volunteer process is also on there. If you have any questions, I'm available to answer. Other than that, that concludes. Oh, we're gonna end with the We Ready video from Convocation. So go ahead, Matt. So thank you, Matt, for your drone, and Yulitza for setting this up, and that's what we did right before Convocation began. That's the entire staff that's in that video. So we're excited for the year. We're ready.
And I just want to emphasize in the events, our first community coffee event is, what day is that, Susan?
The first, it's written here. It is September 19th at 5:30 p.m. right here in this room.
So come out, we'll have some tables set up for some goodies and meet our staff, administrators, and bring your questions. Okay. Next part is public comment. I believe we do have people signed up. I have a brief statement that I'll read before public comment. The Norwich Board of Education values the public comment period as it represents an opportunity for members of the public to express their views to the board on matters within the board's authority. Procedurally, public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person and up to 30 minutes per topic. Comments may be consolidated and given by a group spokesperson. All comments must be directed to the board and not to any individual board member or individual member of the administration. The board and the administration will not respond to questions or engage in dialogue during the public comment period. The board and the administration will determine when and how to address questions that arise during the public comment period. Comments may be submitted via email or in writing at any time. Profanity, raised voices, boisterous conduct, and personal animosity will not be tolerated and may result in the suspension of that individual's speaking privilege. The chair reserves the right to limit public comment at any time so that the board's business may be conducted in a timely manner. Each speaker is asked to give their name and address for the record before starting their remarks. And Amber, who do we have as first speaker?
I have Aurelius Alicius first.
Okay.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Aurelius Alicius. I am a homeowner in Norwich, located at 8 Churches Court in Norwich. I'm here today to advocate for my daughter's bus transportation. I have been in Norwich Public Schools for 20 years, having my other 4 children graduate all from Norwich Public School, and have never encountered the difficulties I am currently encountering. As a Norwich taxpayer, I understand that my taxes provide funding for educational and bus purposes. But I cannot seem to understand why a simple 1 to 2 minute ride cannot be accommodated for a preschool to and from her daycare, which is well known here in Norwich, and it's called Kids World, located at 465 West Main Street in Norwich, where she has been attending since she's been 10 months old. If you're gonna say it's not an in-district, well, maybe it needs to be reevaluated. If we do not have a preschool program in the district zone, which is Stanton Elementary School, it should be redirected. Stanton is currently being rebuilt, and when it opens, it will be able to provide preschool program that is currently provided at Mahan Elementary School. Transportation should be provided for preschool children attending Mahan Elementary School for the 25-26 school year. Now, once 26-27 school year arrives, Mahan will no longer have a preschool program, and there should not be an issue with redirecting transportation for Stanton preschool program. But it's only common sense to provide transportation for a school that provides preschool education. Stanton does not have a preschool program, and the Child Care Kids World is only directed for Stanton. So Kids World is used by many Norwich residents for their children, and unfortunately, we are not providing that transportation to and from Mahan Elementary School for preschool students. That should be something changed. Also, when I call, I pay a monthly school fee for education. I pay my taxes that help fund education and transportation. I feel that transportation should be reevaluated for our Norwich students. Please don't ask me to contact the bus company, because I have. And I have been instructed to contact you, the Board of Education. It's a game of cat and mouse. Who has the answers? Who can make the adjustment changes? Also, when you call one or the other, it's just a game of, oh, I'll take a message, to then have them tell you misleading information. So again, I ask you, who is the proper contact for transportation? And if your answer is Maria Perello, well, she might need an assistant. How much will it cost to provide this transportation to and from daycare, which is located, again, at 465 West Main Street to Mahan Elementary School? If they're using Google Maps or Google Images, satellite, I'm sorry, but that can be misleading. If you were to Google my home, it will provide you images from over 5 years ago. I would also like to state how insulting it is when I contact the bus company and the neighborhood you reside in is called the Abyss. And if you look up the definition of the abyss, it states that it's a deep or seemingly bottomless chance. And those are the words that were used by a person I spoke with at the bus company when I contacted them about my daughter's transportation.
Okay.
Speaking to them, it was based.
You've exceeded your 3 minutes.
Wow, I did? Okay.
Yes, if you could just finish up.
Okay. Speaking to them is fighting an argument because they tried to tell me I don't live in Traders Court. I know the home that I bought, it's on Traders Court. They tried to tell me it's on Trading Cove. And you had mentioned earlier that pre-K is being door to door. I can give you that's false information because at this current moment, my daughter who's in preschool needs to walk over 100 feet to a stop sign from our residence to get the school bus. And I need to have her siblings put her on the bus and take her off the bus because we cannot provide transportation to her daycare. Thank you.
sorry if I'm not pronouncing this correctly, is it Margaret Ishmael? Is it? Okay, come on up.
My name is Miriam Ismail, though I prefer to be called Mari. I'm currently a sixth grader student at Kelly Middle School, and I would like to share some concerns about the behavior of older students on the school bus. Recently, I've witnessed and experienced situations that have made me and other students feel unsafe and uncomfortable. Some older students have been throwing objects around the bus, including glue sticks, mechanical pencils, regular pencils, and other items. This creates a distracting and unsafe environment for younger students. In addition, I have heard these students use inappropriate language, including slurs and offensive words and disrespectful remarks. For example, I've heard comments such as, "I hate sixth graders," "Stop laughing," "Your laugh sounds weird," and racist comments. While some of these comments may have been directed at their own friends, others were specially aimed at sixth graders, which made some of us feel targeted and uncomfortable. What concerns me most is one of the eighth graders' students have been making racist comments towards the bus driver, which is extremely disrespectful. I did report these incidents to a teacher. Some of the older students were instructed to sit in front of the bus, but not all completed. And some argued before eventually moving. On another occasion, when an object was thrown around the bus and accidentally hit my friend, she tossed it back. Unfortunately, this led to several older students verbally attacking her with slurs and insults. As a sixth grader, I believe this type of behavior should not be tolerated. The bus should be a safe place where all students feel respected and secure on their way to and from school. I want to bring this to attention because I care about the safety and well-being of my classmates, my bus driver, and myself. Thank you for taking your time to listen to my concerns. I sincerely hope that steps can be taken to improve the situation on the bus and to ensure a safer and more respectful environment for all students, and I would like to happen to the bus to be supervised better.
Thank you. I will contact you with, to get the bus route, or the bus number, so that we can look into this further. Thank you.
Nancy Peters. That's me. Oh, okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Nancy Peters and I live in Norwich. I own a home in Norwich. And for the past almost 6 years, I've been assisting this wonderful family of Miriams since they came as refugees to this country. And I'd like to say, before I tell you what I'm here for, that last month, Miriam and her parents all became citizens due to their hard work. Our concern also is about the buses, and it's about Miriam's almost 5 but not quite 5-year-old sister, who had the wonderful privilege to be in preschool for the last 2 years. And during that, and there was a wonderful experience for her here in Norwich. And every day she got picked up at the school, by the bus driver at her door, and either somebody on the bus, but more likely a family member got on the bus and was able to attach her seatbelt so that she would be safe. And the same thing on the other end, that somebody attached her seatbelt, and the bus ride is long, so she would almost always fall asleep, right, Miriam? And so it was very important that she had that seatbelt. Now she's in kindergarten, and the family, Miriam is able to walk her to the bus stop in the morning. It's okay, but she no longer, Malik, who's a small, not quite 5-year-old, is not secure in her seat. She's just and the bus driver said nobody could get on the bus to help her. And so she's not in a seatbelt and she just sits wherever. And there were other kindergartners, at least one other, maybe more, also on the bus, the same thing. So they just sit wherever and they're not safe, they don't feel safe or secure. Malik could easily fall out and she falls asleep on the way back. So to her family, it's a really big concern. And to me too, that's a big concern. And we would like you to look into that and make sure that all the little children on the bus are in the front seats where they're supposed to be. Miriam told me that there are 2 seats and that would be 4 seat belts at the front, but bigger kids sit there and the little ones are just wherever. Did I forget anything, Miriam?
I don't think so.
Did I cover it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for
Thank you.
listening to us.
Thank you.
Melody Davis.
Thank you for the opportunity to voice my concerns. I applaud all parents first, teachers, administrators, because the job is not easy that you do. My concerns, even though my address is in Oakdale, my connections have been with the Norwich Public School System since Buckingham School. That's how long I have been dealing with the system, and I did have 2 children that graduated. Prior to then, this summer, we prepared and encouraged, I'm here from, on behalf of my foster grandson. We encouraged my grandson about starting school. To his dismay and disappointment, he was not able to start with his brother. His application was lost, but his brother started school. So we had to prepare. We know we have to prepare children for challenges, but this is an ongoing constant calls I've made. I either get dismissed, my concern is either delayed, or I'm, again, as spoken prior, my calls are changed or sent to someone else. The delays are worse than sometimes the constructions that we have to drive on the roads here. So I'm just asking that, I'm not sure what the protocol of the system is now getting children enrolled or registered, but my guess is if I'm having some issues, I can imagine a young mother or someone else that maybe doesn't push or doesn't really feel into the system, how if they're discouraged or no longer feels they can voice or have a voice for their children. So I would like to hopefully be able to talk to someone who can give me a straight answer on what is the problem, and what are the concerns. Because to have his brother get on the school bus and he was not able to when his application was submitted along with his brother, and then all of a sudden, one of the calls was, oh, there was no financial statement put in because he's 3 years old. If you lost the application, how do you know you didn't get a financial statement? How do you know you didn't get the immunizations that you didn't need? And then the next call was, oh, you needed to fill out something on a link. But you lost the application, so and his mother was never contacted. So I'm just asking, I'm just here to try to get an understanding of who do you talk to when there is, so you don't feel that your concerns are waylaid or not heard or not followed through. And now that, you have the different, the families where, the different brothers or sisters, things can be miscommunicated or misread, and that's not a good look for the system at all.
Only one quick question, I just want to be clear, it's your brother's 2 children?
My sons.
Your son's 2 children,
Right.
so you're the grandmother,
Right.
like you said, I
Right.
heard grandmother, I'm
Right.
sorry to hear
Foster
that,
grandmother,
thank you.
yes. These kids are through foster care. So I'm really
Thank
advocating.
you for that.
They already got a challenge going on, so someone has to stand to make sure, you know, they get through.
Okay.
So,
We're very blessed to have you.
and even though I live in Oakdale, my heart is still here in Norwich. My supports, my volunteering, whatever, is always gonna be here in Norwich, because this is where, like I said, I've been dealing with since the Buckingham School, elementary school days. So that's quite a bit.
Okay, we'll make sure that the registration office gets in touch with you
I
and
hope so.
tries to resolve those
I hope
problems.
I
Thank
hope
you.
so. Thank you.
Kimberly Prize.
Good evening, my name is Kimberly Price. I reside at 131 Rockwell Street here in Norwich. I am actually the grandmother of a 7th grader who goes to school here at Kelly. And I am here about bus transportation, as I'm sure you guys have heard. I videotaped my granddaughter on the first day of school, and I took a video with her in the car, and we actually drove the route that she had to drive to go down to her bus stop. In this travel that she has to go, she is on a street that, number one, is a very, very steep incline. There is also no sidewalks on either side of the street. There is also parking on both sides of the street. There is no safe place for her to walk. There is no, trying to think, I'm sorry, I worked all day, so it's been a long day. Oh my goodness. But there's no place for her to get out of the road unless she walks into other people's lawns. My granddaughter is a 12-year-old girl who is not comfortable being yelled at by people who are homeowners who do not want children walking on their lawns. My second concern was the lack of, I'm trying to think of the correct word. So the transportation department was very dismissive in our concerns. I still have 2 phone calls into her office that I have not received a phone call back to address the situation. I do not know if anybody has actually been down this route that she has to travel. It's a big concern for me. When winter time comes and my granddaughter, because I will not allow her to walk down that hill to go to her bus stop, will not be in school that day, and we will have to answer for that there, but my granddaughter's safety absolutely comes before anything else. I would like to say that she's a smart girl, she's a bright girl, she's also 12. I can't tell her to walk safely down the street and not have her earbuds in her ears and do all of these things, because again, she's 12. She's going to do those things. She may not hear a car behind her, she may not hear a beeping, with electric cars that we have today, you don't hear the cars whether they're there or not. It's a big concern for me. I would ask that somebody did travel this route that she has. I'm not concerned with the distance. She does cross-country running, she does all of that. I'm not concerned with the distance. I am concerned with the safety that she has to travel. This is her mom, Jennifer Clark. She's the next person on your list, so you don't need to call her. But this is her mom. Both of us work during the day. If we were able to drive her to her bus stop, this would be a non-issue. I understand the concerns that you guys have. You guys have thousands of students, and I understand that she's one child, but she's my child, and I love her to pieces. So I would just ask that her route be investigated, and that we maybe hopefully come up with a different solution.
Was this video posted on Facebook?
Absolutely, yes, it was. Yes, ma'am.
I've seen this video and it should be looked at.
Thank you so much. I tried to send it to your,
This morning.
yeah, I have there's over 12,000 views on this video.
Which website? I'm sorry.
It was on the Norwich Community Forum on Facebook.
I only get some stuff.
They have my name. If you search my name, it will definitely come up on the video. There's over 12,000 views on the video. There's quite a few comments on the video.
It's a steep downhill.
It's a very steep hill. It's a very,
Please, let's not engage in conversation.
and like I said, when winter time comes, she works a full-time job. She's also pregnant. It's very difficult for her to get her, when she has to be at her job at 7 o'clock, I'm at my job at 6:30 in the morning, and I have to hope that we don't get a phone call from her school that she didn't make it to school, and then we have to figure out why. When wintertime comes, if this situation does not change, I won't allow her to walk down that road. If there's a snowstorm or there is ice on either side of the road, she will not be at her bus stop.
Thank you for your comments.
You're
Time's
very welcome,
expired.
thank you, thank you for the
Thank you.
opportunity.
All right.
Ed Wojcik?
Good evening, my name is Ed Wojcik. My family and I reside at 33 Sherwood Lane here in Norwich, Connecticut. First and foremost, thank you for the time for allowing me to speak and represent our family in this forum. I am thankful that we live in a community where forums like this exist. With that being said, I am here tonight representing my family and advocating for my middle schooler's safety. The safety of my child, as well as others in our community, is compromised daily for a budget cut in which we do not understand how it will impact the budget. An individual associated with this board was quoted by the Norwich Bulletin stating, "Whether fewer bus stops saves the district money won't be known until after the end of the second week of school," unquote. Again, an impactful decision was made compromising children's safety without understanding the impact it would have on the budget. My wife and I have concern over the distance that my child and others will have to walk. We now live in a world where both parents have to be employed to raise and to provide for a family. I do not feel that Norwich is unsafe. However, Norwich is not free from mentally unstable and sick individuals who would have no problem harming one of our children. Our son has to leave the house at 6:45 in the morning to make it in time for the bus. It takes 20 minutes to walk from our house to the bus stop. A lot can occur during a 20-minute walk. Kids will always be kids, and of course the temptation to goof off when the temptation arises will always be there. However, what happens if one of our children are approached and tried to be picked up by a stranger? Well, this occurred the other day for my son. Luckily, it was a neighbor who wanted to drive him to the bus stop, but kids won't always make the best decisions. What would happen if someone had ill intentions? In the state of Connecticut, children under 10 are not allowed to stay home alone, but we are comfortable with allowing them to walk up to 1.5 miles and stand in unsafe areas by themselves. In the middle of December, it will be still dark at 6:45 a.m. According to your definition of hazardous conditions, I quote, "For students in grades K through 8, walking to or from school or to the bus stop at any time prior to 1/2 hour before sunrise or any time 1/2 hour after sunset shall be deemed hazardous." He would be walking for 20 minutes in the dark with no sidewalks to stand on or walk on, and to stand in a not well lit area for another 10 minutes where there's no safe place to stand until his bus arrives. I'm referring to the bus pickup at the intersection of Gifford Street and Cherry Hill Road. All the children who stand at this bus stop all live within 5 minutes of each other. But instead of picking them up at one centralized location inside the neighborhood, where they are forced to walk all the way outside of our neighborhood to stand at a main intersection. Now, an associate of this board supposedly conducted an on-site review of the Cherry Hill bus stop, and together we, whomever we is, reviewed the route using maps and route images as stated in the Transportation Subcommittee report back from March 17th of this year. Firstly, I'm not sure who could think that this location is safe for any of our students to stand at. Secondly, even with using maps and route images, clearly no one took the time to pinpoint where each of the students live to find a centralized, better location that is safe for all of our children to stand at. They let the computer or Google Maps do the work for them, which was quoted to the Norwich Bulletin. I quote, "When considering a new bus stop, the district will use Google Maps to determine sidewalks and check for other safety factors like traffic flow." I feel that this technology was not utilized correctly to ensure the safety for our children. My son and his classmates now stand in the middle of a very busy intersection where there is nowhere safe to stand. Even the individuals who ride our city buses have a place to stand that is safe and covered. Our children do not. With that being said, I thank you for the time to allow me to speak and represent my family, and I ask that you please hear our concerns and take them all into consideration. Thank you.
Marissa Kolodnik.
My name is Marissa Kalanick. My address is 53 Briar Hill Road. This is my third time about the bus situation. I met with Mark and John on Thursday, met with Susan, we had a meeting. I have two kids, one just graduated from Manhattan and one comes to Cali's. He's 11 years old, one is 14. My 11 years old got hit by a car in April. And instead of me dealing with the criminal charges, I've been dealing with bus situation. And I missed my appointment today in Yale Hospital because Channel 3 wanted to come over and see the situation of a bus. They recognize this is not a safe place for my kids to get in the bus. We had the Board of Eds come yesterday. I don't know why. Got a call from the bus company yesterday and said they moved them from Walmart to Callaway, still not safe. Don't think this morning was crazy. They said they changed the bus to 6:15, with it until 6:30, they didn't get until 6:35. So the kids will have to, if they had to walk from 53 Briar Hill all the way down there, they'll have to stand there for 20 minutes. When it snows, it's a hill. My son got hit in that road.
So sorry you had to go through this. Oh, somewhere there.
I have a paper, and tomorrow I'm meeting with the city manager. I want them to do audits. I wanna know where this funds, I'm paying $9,500 for taxes, and I can't get one bus to pick up this kid's safety. And you come here, you tell me safety stuff is first, it's not. These kids are not safe. Walmart is not safe. Salem Turnpike Road is not safe. That is not a place to leave the kids at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to school. I went to Norwich Tech today, I complained, talked to patient service, they told me they've been calling. Board of Eds, nobody wants to do anything. Maria doesn't want to, she told me to call God. Go call God, maybe it'll change it for you. I'm done. I'm meeting with city tomorrow. The police, Norwich police is gonna come over again. I'm gonna walk with them because I'm tired of going in circles. And why we have to wait for somebody to die for them to do something about it. This is not safe for the kids. Thank you for listening to me.
Marcia Wilbur.
Hi, my name is Marcia Wilbur and I live on Main Street. I wanted to talk about the transportation issue today. What I've witnessed in the last week has been of growing concern to me. First, I want to say I'm glad when the bus drops the students off, they wait until they cross the street. So that's great. But when they're getting picked up, they're risking crossing. If we could get PTA involved, families, volunteers, I think it would, be a village, right? Maybe we can do something there because it is hazardous. Now, my main concern, and I spoke to a board member about this the other day, is there are children at a bus stop in front of East Side Discount Liquors. Now, it's not open when they're going to school, but that's not a good area. It's a nuisance.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, where is it?
East Side Discount Liquors
Oh,
on
right,
Main
the corner of
Street.
Penobscot, yeah.
It's not a good area, right? And so when the students do get dropped off, okay, they're not standing in front of a liquor store, they're going home, but it's a nuisance. It's not a good influence. That was my major concern. Well, besides, children not being safe. But that's one example that I witnessed for myself on several occasions. So there was also a little boy just down the way. I think he was waiting for the bus. He looked scared to death. If we could get some, involvement, maybe people, because they're alone. That was the main thing, is they're alone, right? And so if we could get together and form some kind of volunteer effort to just for a few minutes, right? Stand with the kids, or else please move the bus stop and make sure these kids are safe. I drove a route no sidewalks, major intersections. I'm sure you've heard it with the 250 responses that you've given. Last year, I created some template complaint forms. I know you can't respond, but if anyone is interested in complaint forms, I have them and online. So thank you for your time. I appreciate all that you do. I just want to make you aware that this is happening. Thank you.
Noah Peoples.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, my name is Taylor Peoples and I live at 6 Fernwood Street, and my main concern today is again the bus transportation. I have a few of my other friends that have kids that live in the same area that they have to walk even further than my son, where there is no sidewalks, there is only street lights, every other light pole. And yes, it is a decent area and the speed limit is only 25, but people that live there do not drive 25 miles per hour. And they want to pick the kids up at the corner of Browning and Yantic, which has 3 stop signs that nobody stops at. And there's more than 9 children standing there, and I don't know where they're supposed to stand when that entire area gets filled with snow during the winter. And I don't know how they expect us to walk the kids in slush-filled roads, icy roads, roads that, yes, they get plowed, but they don't get cleaned up. And this is not a knock on Norwich Public Works, but they have so many roads, but the roads do not get cleaned up very well, or we're the last roads to get cleaned up or plowed in any snowstorm ever. And we've lived there for 8 years, and I get it, and like I said, it's not a knock, but these kids have to walk so far, and they're gonna come home, they gotta walk in the dark. Some of them will be coming home in the dark from the after-school activities, the after-school program, and I don't think it's safe when there's nobody there to tell them if they slip or fall and they hit their head or they're unconscious, and who's gonna see them with all the snow on the sides of the roads. That's all.
Thank you.
Oh, that's everyone signed up.
Okay, is there anyone else who wishes to address the board?
Sorry, we stepped in a little late. Good evening, board and everything. My name is Michelle Carrington. I live at 95 Briar Hill Road. So I'm at the very last house at one of the concerns for the bus stop. So, which is just moved to Kellogg Way in Salem Turnpike. So my daughter goes to NFA. She's in 9th grade, 14 years old. Her bus comes at 6:21 in the morning. Fortunately, right now I'm able to take her to the bus stop, but I'm an active duty military member, so I cannot always put my family first. So it's a big concern for me and the other kids that live on our road. And it's frustrating because us as parents should not have to fight for our children's safety. I should not have to be afraid or add more stress on top of my work to wonder if my child is safe standing at a corner to go to school. I know there's a lot of students in Norwich. I get it. We're not asking for a brand new spot. We're just asking, can we get it back to where it was, to a safe spot? Obviously, our road is not safe. The hill that she has to walk down, she plays the bass clarinet. She's got to lug a big box home. My child is not gonna walk half a mile with her book bag full of books and a big instrument. That's uncalled for. A 14-year-old should not have to do that. And it's just, it's extremely frustrating. And to the point where our children actively themselves talk to the news channel. So it shows that our children are not safe. They don't feel safe at this spot. People that come up our road, it splits into 2 roads. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it splits into 2 roads. Going up Briar Hill, people book it, and it's not a straight hill. It turns, and you don't see another car till the last minute. So if they are walking in the winter, snow's piled up, we don't have sidewalks. They're walking in the road, in the clearest part that's plowed right now. If somebody comes around that corner, they're gonna hit that kid. And they're not gonna see him, because guess what? We don't have streetlights. I think we only got 3 in the whole entire street. So it's a very big safety concern. I get Google Maps and everything like that, but Google Maps doesn't show you what it looks like at 6 a.m. in the morning when our children are walking to school in the winter. That's my biggest concern. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing? Byron Mora, 80 Briar Hill Road. Here with them as well. Just talking on the fact that one, the transportation over there, not the best. The aspect that they just changed all the kids all the way down, the bigger kids, all the way down to Kellogg Highway or Kellogg Way or Salem Turnpike, ridiculous. When earlier this year there was already a car that pretty much just jumped the border into somebody's residence. Because we all know Salem Turnpike, Route 82 to be pretty much a main road. Unsafe in that aspect. I have a 6-year-old daughter who I don't really want to do this for 12 years. Come here, continuously doing it. Seems unfair. Just earlier this year, April, her son got hit by a vehicle who, in my eyes, I see is speeding. And only got a ticket for failure to drive right. That vehicle struck 3 bikes, ran over the kid. The kid went flying several feet. And for it to be deemed saved for these kids to walk all the way down to Kellogg Way, which is a little bit more than, for her, I believe it's gonna be a little bit more than like half a mile. Kind of unfair. That's just like the biggest concern for these kids as they grow up. We have kids that are scared to ride their bikes, walk around. I get it, it is a 25-mile-an-hour zone, but we know people don't really follow that. So it's just upsetting in that aspect. I know just a couple years ago, kids got dropped off and picked up at their residence. We have 2 big turnarounds where they can do it all the way at the top and in the center, which I don't know why that stopped, and then it just made it all the way worse for everybody. That's just my concern for you guys. Appreciate it. Don't know what you guys can do, but.
Thank you, sir.
Is there anyone else who wishes to address the board? Yeah, come on up.
Can I translate for them?
Sure.
Yo puedo traducir por ustedes. ¿Qué quiere decir? ¿Dónde ellos? ¿Cómo se escribe eso? Okay, she lives on 7 Goldberg Ave. Apparently they changed her bus stop as well. They made it a lot closer to the intersection. She's just over here causing it. It's just a concern for her child. It's a main intersection, and
Está cerca de la pista y no hay un sitio ni donde parar y tampoco se viene el invierno para la nieve y al costado hay una casa abandonada que nadie limpia.
Okay.
No se va a poder caminar.
so there's no sidewalks. There's nowhere for the kids to stand. It's not lighted, and right in front of their bus stop is an abandoned house where nobody really takes care of. So it's just a scary situation. Where when it does get to winter, it's going to be dark and not illuminated for the kids as well.
Y es muy peligroso la pista y la semana pasada mi niño casi corre a la pista porque es un niño de travieso. Yo llevo 2 niños, uno de 5 años y uno de 6 años y se me escapó un lado y si no la agarro me lleva el carro.
So she just wants to bring the concern. It's just it's a heavy traffic intersection. She has 2 kids that she also has to walk with. A 5-year-old who's needed 5 a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old. And you know how kids are. She said that one of them got loose by accident and almost got ran over by a car on the way to the stop, to the bus stop.
Y yo le escribí un email a María Paredes. Ella me dijo que no me podía cambiar el bus stop porque ese bus stop está destinado para 5 niños y solamente hay 4 niños los que van y 2 niños más mi vecinito que caminamos y un niño que
So she said she spoke to Maria Perillo, she emailed her, and she said that that bus stop is designed for 5 kids when only 4 kids actually go, 2 of them being hers, one being her neighbor as well. ¿Qué más?
Y solamente van 4 niños, somos 3 niños que tenemos que caminar ese trayecto porque ella nos ha cambiado de la Maple Street a la 92 Washington. Tenemos que caminar más y no hay un sitio ni donde parar, no hay cerca la pista, no hay un sitio ni donde parquear porque se viene el invierno y los niños no van a pasar frío porque no hay ni donde parquear un carro ni donde parar.
She was at 92 Maple Ave, and now she's in Washington Street. Washington Street is a pretty heavy load street as well. She's just also concerned there's no place to park the car, and when it comes to winter time, how is she gonna, you know?
I'm sorry, I'm just confused, and she said Hobart Avenue before?
Yo vivo en la 7 Goldberg.
She lives at 7 Goldberg.
Oh, Goldberg,
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know.
sorry, I misunderstood you. So Goldberg goes on to Washington, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so she's just concerned, like, especially like it's coming winter time right now. There's nowhere to for the kids to park, and if she does, or there's nowhere for her to park and have the kids inside, and it's just gonna be a traffic issue as well.
Y en esa casa nadie va a limpiar las nieves.
And since it's an abandoned house, nobody cleans the area for the kids to be or stand at.
What's her name?
What is the number?
Luz Palomino.
It's Luz, L-U-S, oh, it's at that. L-U-Z, Palomino. You got it, or I'll spell it. Otherwise.
No me pido que por favor consideren que mis niños son pequeños, que es muy peligroso.
She said if you could just please consider that it is a dangerous road and she has small kids.
Okay. We will look into it. Thank you. Thank you for your concern. And is there anyone else who wishes to speak?
Go ahead and speak as well. First of all, good evening, everyone. Andre Williams, live at 56 Briar Hill Road, Norwich as well. We just moved to the area about last year around this time. I'm currently active duty military Navy as well. I don't necessarily have a direct issue with transportation because I'm able to take my children to school, pick them up and take them back, and so is my wife. But I have witnessed this same issue on our road as well, and as a show of solidarity, I want to say it's obviously pretty bad. There's a child that's been struck on our road right across the street from me. We have an extremely long walk for those children to be able to get to school. In the military, we talk about it a lot. You know, see something wrong, you say something wrong. So this is something that's obviously wrong. If they're having to walk about a mile to be picked up, that's pretty inappropriate, especially in the winter. It's gonna be pretty tough for them. There are no sidewalks. Though the roads are wide, cars can park on the side. It's gonna be a pretty busy time for them. I just think overall right now I think it's pretty unsat. And if there's a way that we can maybe take a look at that, I think that street in generally will be pretty appreciative of it. Talking about maybe 4 different families that have came up and talked about that issue on that road, and them asking to be put back to where it was. I challenge anybody here at this board, they have the opportunity to drive that road themselves and see where the pickup point is and where the furthest child has to drive or walk from. You'll also see that it's probably inappropriate as well when they take a look at it. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we've exceeded the 30 minutes. However, I'll take anyone else who wishes to talk. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Yep, come on up.
On this topic.
What?
You can speak on other matters.
Good evening, my name is Safi Bhatt, I live 45 Briar Hill Road. First off, thank you for changing the middle schooler. We appreciate that, but then we have a problem with the high schoolers. It's very far for them. I'm gonna face the same problem in a year with my son, because he's gonna be starting high school. And I don't have the time, you know. So my mother can only watch him walk to the bus stop. We're not asking for door to door. We're just asking to put the kids back, all the kids at the same cul-de-sac to get picked up. That's all we're asking. We're not asking for you to go to their door and pick them up. All of the kids don't have the same pickup time. They have different pickup times. So they cannot, you're saying, when we call, they're saying let all the kids walk with someone. But all the kids don't leave the house at the same time. So how are they gonna get to the bus stop at the same time? Some leave 6:30, some leave 7:30, so it's different. My neighbor, she has 2 kids. Her son is going to NFA. She has to wake up her 2-year-old to drop the NFA 6:20 in the morning for him to get picked up, you know? So just take a look at it, just put them back where they were. It's easier, it's simple, you
Okay.
know, that's all we ask.
And where was that cul-de-sac again?
It was right at the corner of Briar Lane, Briar Hill. Briar Hill Road, right at the corner where the bus turns around.
Okay.
There's good space for the bus. The middle schoolers are getting picked up there. The elementary, I think, are getting picked up there as well. So why not have the high schooler get picked up there? They don't mind walking this, I mean, it's a shorter distance than walking going all the way to, you have them at one point at Walmart, then at Kellogg Way. We're just changing the stop, different. So why not just change it one time, just leave them where they were at that time, you know? That's all we're asking. Thank you.
Thank you. Someone else? Yes.
Thank you. My name is Kathleen Iovino. I live at 183 Whiteman Avenue. I appreciate all the concerns I've heard tonight, and I don't want to take a lot of your time, but I did want to take the opportunity to say how thankful I am that this board listened 2 years ago and got our preschool program back in working order in the city, and that we are now accredited, and that it is just so wonderful to see what happened in the past 2 years. I came here, sat here 2 years ago to say how concerned I was, and I really felt obligated to come back today and say thank you to everybody, all the teachers, the principals, the Board of Education, the superintendent, everyone who made this happen. Because it was going to be such a tremendous loss to this community, to this school district. So thank you to all of you.
Thank you.
Yes, you wish to speak?
My name is Brianna. I live on 95 Briar Hill Road, and there's a lot of people here that are from our Briar Hill Road.
Yeah,
So-
it seems to be the problem area tonight.
Your mom. Yes. And I am a student that attends to NFA. I'm in 9th grade. And me being up here shows that it is more than a problem than parents being concerned for the well-being of their children. As I myself attend in the marching and concert band for NFA. So I am required for a grade at the end of every week to bring my instrument home. And my instrument is not light at all. And especially in the winter time, our road is not at the top of the priority to get salted, so the ice is no longer a concern. So I will have to be walking up a very steep hill, which will probably be coated in ice, with an instrument, my backpack, and a water bottle. And there's other people who do too, and obviously not everybody has the time in their day to be able to drive their children to the bus stop. So, and there used to be a spot, the turnaround at our road. It was very good spot for people to be able to get there. And I live the farthest from that bus stop on our road, and I was able to get there. I've never missed the bus at that stop. But now I feel if I had to walk to my bus stop where it currently is moved to, I feel I would not be able to catch that bus in time. And it also doesn't seem to be very safe as there are no sidewalks. It is a pretty busy road most of the time. So, and you never know if anyone really will stop at the stop signs. And there's really no space for us to be, so we will be on just the edge of the road where cars will be passing, and that can be a very big dangerous concern.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Be thankful you didn't take up the sousaphone.
She thought about it.
Okay,
She plays like 5 different instruments.
all right. Is there anyone else who wishes to talk? Is there anyone else who wishes to do public comment? Any final time, anyone else who wishes to speak at public comment? I now declare public comment closed. Thank you all. We will look into your concerns. Oops. Oh, did,
Keep him occupied in the hallway.
okay.
He wants to share his name.
My name is Vinesh and I have 4 kids. One is in high school, one is in middle, and one is in elementary. And the 4th one is here. I have to drop first my older one. Now I have my neighbor, she helped me, she dropped. But after that, I have to drop my middle one and then my elementary one. So the morning are really chaotic for me. It's a really tough time because he was sleeping at this time and I have to wake him up and take with me. It's not easy. And after that, the whole day he was crying like crazy. So for my son, he's in high school. At morning time, I don't let him go alone because it's dark at 6:20 sometimes. Yesterday they called me. Come at like 6:10 or 6:15 on the bus stop. I went there, it's dark, I don't allow my son to go there. So I live in Briar Hill Road. I live in 72 Briar Hill Road. So I want at least for my older one, door-to-door pickup.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you all.
I know my neighbors too, because my son was in accident too.
Right.
But my neighbor, they are driving like in a zigzag form, and I just stopped the car and he came out of the car and started yelling at me. He just, do the blame game on me. And I did call the police, but police was like, just stay away. I'm not going to his home. But what he's doing, you have to ask. But police didn't ask anything, and I know they are not careful. That's my concern. I know my neighbors are not careful, but I have to. I'm concerned about my kids' safety.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Phoebe.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. So that's the end of public comment, and we'll go to the report of the acting assistant superintendent, Jamie.
Okay, good evening, everyone. You have the reports that you have gotten in advance, but highlights that I'd like to talk a little bit about. We had the launch of our spring math program. It's the one new addition that we've had to our curricular program this year that's focusing on math fluency skills. You hear us talking a lot about understanding arts, but we're not forgetting about other areas. And spring math is an evidence-based program that uses peer assistance learning, no technology to really boost math fluency skills. So we're looking forward to the outcomes of that. There were lots of other curricular updates that you saw for ELA, math, science, and social studies, but we are also proud of a $15,000 grant that will fund our 8th grade trips to the Mystic Seaport to study the Amistad history. We were not able to do that last year, much to our dismay, because we did not have the funding for it. This year, a grant came through to help us support that initiative again, so we're happy about that. Unified Arts, Advanced Music and Art programs. We have some new band open houses and a K2 library media curriculum focus our UA updates for this fall. Recruitment and retention efforts continue to grow through our alternative pathways, the teacher residency program and UConn partnerships. Attendance initiatives launched with Stronger Together, Showing Up, Lifting Up campaign started. And then extended learning program is beginning on September 10th, tomorrow, with athletics having 180 students at the middle school level registered for fall tryouts, fall sports tryouts, so that's also exciting. In our MLL department, we currently have 708 multilingual learners, 91 new enrollees awaiting screening, which is a requirement when we have students first enter. And 88 students who exited MLL services after strong literacy and oral language growth on our Lost Links assessments. In terms of our adult ed programs, we are transitioning into the fall term with programs starting to fall into place over the next few weeks. Final enrollment counts and class rosters are being finalized, but early projections show that more than 350 students are enrolled across all of our programs, with numbers steadily increasing. Last year, about this time, we were at 428, so we have seen a decline in the enrollment. And later tonight, we're going to ask for your support with an action item for our Alliance grant for approval of our submission for the fiscal year of 2026. As you may know, the focus areas for spending for an Alliance district are things like tiered interventions, foundational reading programs, talent strategies to attract and promote, bolster the performance of staff, training for school leaders, coordination of early childhood education providers, coordination of community programs and wraparound services, and implementing and furthering other education statewide standards. This year, our funding for Just Alliance, which is $16,914,723, which funds right now 178 staff. A good chunk of our staff is paid for by Alliance. It supports our curriculum and related programs and software, and it also is now supporting our athletic programs. Part of that grant is also our priority school district grant for $827,710, which funds pretty much all of our kindergarten teachers, the ones that are funded in the regular Alliance. And then our part of that package is priority extended school hours, which is $88,916, and that supports instructors for after school and our community partners that help support our after school program. So looking for your support tonight as we approve and have that action item on your agenda.
Okay, great. Any questions for Jean?
Teacher residency program.
Mhm.
I saw somewhere we had some people certified.
I'm sorry?
We had a couple of people certified through that program.
Yes. More than a couple. I think we have 2 from this past school year, and then at least 1 before that. And that's what I know from history since I've been at the seat. Two from before. So.
And do we have partnerships with some of the teaching colleges?
That's UConn. So TRP is a partnership with CREC, which is one of our regional learning, statewide regional centers. And then UConn currently has a partnership with us for another resident in an alternative pathway. So
Nice thing is they're both special education, which is what we need, which is nice.
So we're really trying to look at all the opportunities that are out there. The partnership with UConn this year was new to me, although we've had interns at UConn, for several years in a row, especially in the school psychology department. So this pathway is might be rekindled, but it's new in my tenure. But we're also looking at Sacred Heart and how can we reestablish some of the program that they have. And there's more flexibility, I would say, in current times with how we can provide those alternate pathways.
And is there any kind of partnership with EastCon and Willimantic or?
Not right now. I'm not sure what, Eastern or EastCon?
Eastern.
Oh, Eastern, yes, we have student teachers, but in terms of having a certified teacher, live here and become certified, not yet.
Okay.
But mostly student teachers from Eastern.
Okay.
The other thing that's nice,
Yeah, and I think the work with Patrice Marinina and her role, it's not, trying to expand and look at other opportunities. It's not just for certified teachers, it's also some of our para-educators who are aspiring to, get into the teaching, become certified, like what can we do there? Building some systems and working with with partnerships with Three Rivers and other community colleges and how to build up their expertise.
just wanna add too, Jamie, that the two TRP in our district right now, one was our attendance person that decided that, we sort of work with them and say who wants to do this, and then another one was a longstanding, Timmy Allen, who's been here doing a lot of different roles. And we've been hoping that he's been wanting to do this for a long time, so he's another one, and they're both special education that they're working with, so we're really.
Well, that goes a long way to having 0 vacancies, is creating these programs
on the
to
news.
hire people who they are, so good.
So that wrestling hold finally worked with you, huh?
And I also think, this also speaks to the mentors. It's not just the person that's getting into those alternative pathways in those classrooms. It is about, having dedicated people, which we all know we have in this community, but supporting those partnerships as well. It's not just about an assignment and a stipend. These careers depend on having, mentors that have rich experiences that can help move them, to the next stage of their career. And we have more people coming to the table ready and willing to do that. And so that's also a testament. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have that great mentor back in 1990 with Cheryl Vaccatura and, the people that influenced, what I did on my first couple of years of being here in Norwich. And I know how important that relationship is. And so we are really trying to, make sure that is built upon.
Thank you, Jamie. And now for the Director of Student Services. Give us the good news, Dr. Hughes.
I'll try. Bad news Bob is up next, so I'm going to try. Remember when we were talking about, that was funny. That was around budget time. He's not bad news. He's not going to give bad news. I'm only joking. Good evening. On that note, I wanted also to pipe in on the TRP program where I had the opportunity to see it in action with one of our mentor teachers, Liza DeRoche and Tim Allen, and she was teaching a lesson and he was involved with it, and it's just wonderful to actually see it in action as well, and really pleased that they're both in special education, aspiring special educators. And again, shout out to Annie Busby. We're very proud as a department to have her representing as Teacher of the Year. In the report that I've submitted, we have our typical placement updates with out-of-district placements sitting at 103. Right now, we're chipping away. I did leave you an IDEA advocate pin because I'd like to thank the Board of Ed for their letter and advocacy and always your support, along with Superintendent Lassard, the support of student services. It's incredibly important. So we thank you. Again, I was honored to be at the Special Education Legislative Summit over the summer back in Washington, D.C., representing Norwich and meeting with the Connecticut legislators. So that was really exciting. I've included, in case you hadn't seen it, the Parents with a Purpose letter of support that our families have brought forward and was signed by Parents with a Purpose. The City of Norwich and Mr. Saitani was very instrumental in getting that together, the joint statement, so thank you for that. It's really powerful when you can bring that to the legislators and submit that to them and say these letters are from your constituents, so thank you very much for that. It was a really wonderful experience. I wanted to highlight again our Summer Reading Institute and thank those that were instrumental in this, which were our special education supervisor, Megan Wakely, and our teachers, Darcy Strauss, Cassie Bradford, Morgan Anthony, Anna Hunt, and Courtney Shearer, who did some really wonderful work again this year in our Reading Institute. You can see in the report, the wonderful progress that students made with their one-to-one reading supports, and it just has done, this program has really worked wonders for many students. So we filled up the spaces and we're able to take students off the wait list as well, so.
But that was a 3-week program?
That went for the month of July and it ran for 3 weeks, yes.
Got those results?
Correct. It's amazing what that special instruction can do one-on-one with gifted teachers. So we want to continue that work, right? So I just want to give that shout out. Our extended school year program went well, and thank you to the academic department for their partnership and everyone who's listed in there who helped get that going and rolling. As you know, in student services, we're celebrating 50 years of IDEA, and just today in a principal's office, I heard him say, well, it isn't 1965, when we were talking about placements and those kinds of things, and just reflecting on how far we've come in special education. So I'm really excited that this is our focus this year. Along that idea, you can see how we celebrated that at our kickoff as well. And then just to highlight special programs, I know that's always an interesting topic. As you know, our Rose City School is invested and working in 2 elementary sections, 2 middle school sections, a great group of individuals over there, and we have launched our school resilience program. So we have 1 student who has been entered into the program or is in process, and we have 11 students on the list right now who the team is looking at. So it's a very gifted team. Same type of individuals who have been at Rose City with Joshua Vanoski and Beth Hanlon assisting as well to get this program up and running. And so we're really excited about this, and the team over there with a new special educator, part-time social worker, and Jack Fields, who has helped us along as well. We had a meeting, I think it was last week maybe, about how things are going and just getting things underway. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about that or anything else.
We have students from other districts enrolled at Rose City?
Yes, we do. Yes,
How
I
many?
believe we're at 2.
2 right now?
Yes. Could be 3, but I can check the list.
All right, that's fine. Any other questions for Lisa?
I would also mention that you do have an item on your agenda that has to do with primary mental health grant. At the time that we had to submit a statement saying that we would bring this to you for your approval. We found out today that we were actually awarded the grant, so I hope you approve. It's going to be a good one, and it will be at the elementary level. I'll share some more information when we get to that. More money is always good news, right?
Go ahead, Kevin.
Not so much a comment or a question for Lisa, but I do just wanna, comment, but just to say, Lisa, thank you for going down to Washington DC with the joint statement by all elected officials to advocate for IDEA. And I just wanna reach out to the community at large, those who are here in this room and beyond this room, is to help out with Norwich Public Schools and many other school districts across Connecticut and throughout the United States to reach out to your congressional and US senators delegation in DC to advocate for IDEA, Individuals with Disability Education Act, to get the federal government to fully fund IDEA that was passed decades ago. Years now. Yeah, 50 years ago. Yeah. So we definitely need that money from the federal government, and it will help relieve a lot of the special education costs that many communities across the United States are struggling with. And so until we get those funding, it's gonna continue to be a spiral downward trend with those costs. And it'll be a disservice to our students with those disabilities. So please reach out to your delegation in DC.
Which brings us to our business administrator. Good news and not so good news, Bob. I won't say the B word, but
Well, Lisa's already taken care of that, so
Right.
thank her for that, but I hope you're not disappointed that mostly I have all good news tonight.
good.
Good news,
Both
Bob.
Mark and Susan mentioned we. and
It's early yet in the year.
In a positive balance, so the school year ends early to mid-June, but our fiscal or finance year, budget year ends on June 30th. And I just wanna remind people that it's not a simple matter of running a report on July 1st or 2nd. It actually takes about 2 months to close the year from a fiscal standpoint, and our audit is underway right now. We're audited by CLA, they do both the city and the Board of Education. District, like all school districts, is required to submit a state financial report by September 1st or face a $10,000 fine. I don't think they would ever actually fine a district $10,000, but that's the threat every superintendent gets of the end of June reminding them. So I just wanted, I'm not gonna go over this, but this is the backup data for filing the report. And I need to thank a lot of people in helping put that together. Lisa's department, there's a lot of information in there from special education, as you might add, transportation, and the city. The city provides actually over $350,000 of in-kind services that we don't get billed for, and that includes crossing guards, attorneys' fees in the background, fiscal support, and so on. So that report was filed, I'm pleased to say, on August 28th, and that's over and done. As Susan mentioned, we ended the year with a positive balance of $458,571. The report will show that we spent equal to budget because we took that money and deposited it into the district's insurance fund to help shore up that balance. So how did we get this? Susan already talked about that. It was a lot of hard work. I'm just gonna talk about 3 or 4 areas. One was supplies and equipment. In your packet, you have a brief summary. We were just under $365,000 under budget, and a lot of that was due to the efforts of school administration and departments of doing without. Back in December when we initiated the freeze, we wondered how much could we actually save. So they were very instrumental in their efforts, and I wanna thank them on behalf of everyone. Without their efforts, that wouldn't have been possible. We were also under budget in transportation and fuel by almost $285,000. So that's the efforts of trying to reduce transportation. And it's also favorable pricing. We run roughly 90 buses a day. 52 of them are the large 71 type 1 passenger buses, the other 38 are type 2 buses. The large buses run on diesel fuel and the smaller buses run on regular gasoline. Market conditions have been favorable. So the reason I point that out is I looked back in 22-23, we spent $676,000 on fuel. Last year we spent $495,000, a reduction of $185,000. So spending money on things like gasoline and utilities, it's necessary, but it doesn't improve our educational opportunities for our students. So when we can achieve savings in those areas, those are more dollars that are available for core education. So how did we do that? Well, market conditions, as you know, you buy gas, everyone buys gasoline. The price at the pump for regular gas has been pretty stable the last year or two. And the district also doesn't pay highway taxes, so we pay much less than that. We use about $100,000 of gasoline diesel fuel, and I've entered into contracts through a consortium already a year out in advance, and it's been favorable pricing. So we should expect to see good pricing in this year because we're under contract through September of 26. Another area where we did well was utilities, and that's natural gas, heat, that heats our buildings, electricity, and water and sewer. If I look back 2 years ago, we spent $607,000 on natural gas. Last year we spent $307,000. That's a reduction of $300,000. So some of that is weather, weather plays an important part of that. But I want to give Norwich Public Utilities credit because they buy the natural gas for the city, which includes Norwich Public Schools. They usually do that in November. So we'll see a price change come in November. And with current market conditions, I'm anticipating not seeing a big spike on that. So that's just in those two areas, that's over $500,000 of savings in the last 2 years that we can put into educational dollars. So I think that's pretty good. We also, in the last couple of years, put new boilers, high efficiency gas condensing boilers at Global, Teachers Middle School and Stanford. And I went back and looked at the usage at Global, Teachers Middle School. 2 years ago, they spent just under $79,000. Last year was $32,000. So that's a 59% reduction, and that's not all price. It's still an inefficient building, but by having a more efficient heating system, there'll be savings. I bring that up because we're gonna have all new schools in a couple of years. And the hope is with modern heating units and a highly efficient insulated building envelope, you'll see utility savings going forward that will help lessen the budget impact of heating costs. We did still end up in the negative with tuition, total tuition and special education costs, about $880,000. In the area of salaries, supplies, equipment, transportation and fuel, purchase services, legal and utilities, we were 1.3 favorable. So those two netted out to the savings. So that basically wraps up 24-25. If you have any questions about that, I'd be glad to answer them. Okay, for
Good job.
25-26, I do have some good news for that year. Both Jamie and Lisa talked about the academic success of our summer programs. I look at the financial success that they brought with it. Managing the program, we were under budget in salaries and total expenses for both ESY and the regular education program. And we spent less on transportation this year than last year. So that's off to a good start. Wouldn't be right if I didn't throw in one bit of bad news, and that's in the area of our adult education program. Last week, at the end of the week, our director and myself, we got, and I believe Susan did as well, we got an email from the state that the state actually reduced funding statewide for adult education. I found that hard to believe. I didn't even see that on the radar. They put a cap on what they provide to districts. So yesterday, John Glover and I met, and we both calculated that it's gonna be about a $50,000 impact to Norwich. John's going to a meeting on Friday, hoping to find out more. The way adult ed works from a financial standpoint, the state is roughly supposed to pay 65% and the district pays 35%. But once a district approves an adult ed budget, the district is on the hook for that budget regardless of how much the state reimburses. So it's kind of a bad system. Usually they do hold to the 65%, but they put a 12.5% cap, so we think they're gonna reduce it down to 87.5% of what they did last year, which will mean a $50,000 to $53,000 amount that the Board of Ed will have to kick in because the budget's already approved in May. Once Susan signs it, it becomes the Bible. So fortunately, we're favorable in those other areas I mentioned, so it's not putting the district in a negative here. That concludes my report for today.
Okay. And food service is going well this year?
It is. We actually hired a full-time dietitian who started about 2 weeks ago. She's actively working with the nursing department, all the school nurses. She's based in Moriarty. One of her primary focuses will be on the fresh fruit and vegetable snack program to try and improve that. So she's getting acclimated to the district, so we're glad to have a full-time dietitian on board.
Who pays?
The food service program.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to put that out there. And did they finish the renovations there?
Yes and no. It was a very intense summer because you couldn't renovate the kitchen during school, so it started like 2 days after school was out. All of the work has been completed. There were 5 pieces of equipment that didn't come in time, so I believe they're here now. But we can't, it takes 3 days to install that equipment, so the swap over will be done during the holiday break in October.
And that's not hurting them in any way,
Nope,
no? They're
they're just
able to
using
put
the old
everything
equipment
out?
until then. It's basically in the serving line.
So
So the
I remember during convocation, I
Yep.
stopped in there and spoke to the
It came out really
staff,
nice,
and I
so
was like,
yeah, it's very, very bright, more modern.
Yeah.
So that was
Just
completed
brighter,
and completed
brighter too, so-
completed within budget too.
very good.
So all the exhaust hoods are working and everything.
Yeah, it's a very, well, yeah, it's a brand new exhaust hood. The previous hood was inoperable.
Okay, that takes us to new business. So we have several action items as mentioned before. Item 8.1, discussion on action on the Alliance and Priority School District grants. We could just have a brief description of those.
Do you want me to do that again?
Yeah.
Okay. The Alliance component, yeah, it was the 16,914,723 sorry. That funded 178 staff. It's pretty much covering curriculum and related programs, including software, and then the athletic program. Then there's the Priority School District, part of the grant, which is $827,710, which funds most of our kindergarten teachers, except for the ones that are now funded through Alliance. And then our Priority Extended School Hours, which is $88,916, funds instructors and community partners.
I would just remind the board that those funds are part of the overall ECS budget that's allotted by the state.
Okay, so that's already built into ECS?
That part of ECS is just funneled to I think the entire ECS grant is $48 million. The city receives 32 direct and the balance comes to the curriculum department.
Okay, so these funds don't go through the city account, it comes directly to us?
Jamie writes the grant and it goes directly through her office.
Okay. All right, and could I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion for the board to approve the 25-26 Priority School District grants.
Krista Stacy, I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion by the board? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Hearing none, it is unanimous. Action item 8.2, the 2026 primary mental health grant.
So this was an application that we put in towards the end of the school year last year when it became available. It was a competitive grant, a small amount, a relatively small amount. We put in for $20,000, which was the maximum amount allowed. It was competitive. They had a lot of grants, so they gave us a little bit less money. So it's in the $16,000 plus range. And it's intended to have an individual, like almost like I guess you would say a facilitator, to help with some play groups and connections with younger children to support their mental health and connections to school. And that would be housed at one of our elementary schools. And we have actually been awarded the grant, so that's the little technicality tonight, but I had to put it on the agenda as part of the grant application.
So I imagine $16,000, that's a part-time position then.
Right, it would just be hourly, probably about 20 hours a week for an individual. It also allowed for us to buy some really intentional support materials for that individual to use in play groups with children.
She said elementary.
So even though they'll be centered at Huntington, is that for district-wide?
It's for a really specific kind of a smaller window if we had to pick a school to kind of utilize, so that's what we did.
Okay.
has a high preschool population and lots going on, so it just seemed to make sense at the time of application.
And could I have a motion to approve on that?
I'll make a motion for the board to approve the Connecticut FY26 primary mental health grant for Samuel Huntington Elementary School.
Second that.
Okay. Any further discussion by the board? Hearing none, all in favor?
Wait, I think no, you can finish that.
Okay.
Okay, I was
Sorry.
like,
No, for your
No, this
discussion.
is like on a tangent, it was something that I just thought about that I contacted Susan about, but it would be under her purview, so I was just wondering if I can ask her about that.
Yeah.
The dog therapy.
Yep. So Lisa,
Yes.
we talked about the dog therapy
Yes.
and
Yep.
we're working, we don't currently have a policy.
Correct.
And so Bob and I have talked about that, we need to have some sort of policy in place.
We have to do a policy, the board, in order for it to happen.
Correct.
Very good. So are we working it on that? We're in the process?
When we have another policy meeting, yeah, we'll bring that
Very
up.
good. Oh, so you folks know, it was just someone that I've known for years who does dog therapy. She's retired. And I asked her about becoming active in Norwich School. She goes to East Lyme. You actually know her, Karen Ebero?
Yeah.
Karen. And so I had approached Susan about it, so I.
Rose City School.
Very good.
But that wouldn't be covered under this.
No, but I knew it was under her and I had forgotten to ask earlier, so thank you.
All right.
Motion and a second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
We didn't vote.
Sorry.
Yeah, any discussion?
Additional.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? It is unanimous. And next item is the preschool attendance plan with Corey Beckwith.
So this was a big topic at with the Board of Ed last year to talk about pre-K. We know how important it is to get them in there and good attendance moving into kindergarten and first grade. So I know that you wanted us to address that, so we have a plan. Corey's going to talk about the plan.
Hey, Corey.
I'm really glad this came up actually because it's been something we've been talking about over the past couple of years. So I put together a couple of slides for you. It's not too long, hopefully this captures enough of what you're interested in knowing about, and then we can talk about our next steps. So we have a bunch of data here, and I just encourage you to interpret it with caution because there has been growing pains with taking attendance for preschool, and there are still some things that we have to improve and figure out. So although you have this data here, I would like to give you another round of data a little bit later in the school year so we can see if our improvements in using our data collection, our attendance collection system changes this at all. So, yeah, so we did take a look at our chronic absenteeism by ethnicity, by special education status.
So the number on the left is the total number, the red is the percentage that have chronic absenteeism, and the blue is the total?
Correct.
Okay.
And what we're going to look at here is, again, seeing if the training of our staff and the improvement in the fidelity and consistency where they enter the information matches what we have here. This was our first run at pulling an attendance report for preschool using PowerSchool. By grade, or excuse me, this should say by school. By grade is obviously pre-K. So I'm gonna talk about this in terms of the forest and the trees. So thinking about our overall big system, the forest of how we look at attendance in preschool. We know that good data going in will give us good data coming out. So we've worked with the teachers to learn a little bit about how PowerSchool works. There are some features of the system that take a little getting used to. For example, if you don't enter anything for attendance for a student for a day, it automatically populates a present that the student was there, and that might not be accurate. So we have to train our newest members of our preschool teaching staff to make sure that the data that's going in is actually what is happening in real time, so.
Go through an orientation you have, right?
Yes, we have an orientation, and I didn't even include that part in here, but I'm glad you brought that up because our orientation this year is getting more specific than it was over the last 2 years. So we had our beginning of the school year professional development, 3 days worth of that. It's nearly impossible to cover all of the specificity of what they need to learn during that time. So one of the contractors that we hire, she's a compliance officer, and she helps us stay in compliance and in good faith with all of the requirements that we have with the state. And one of the things that she's doing to help us with that is orienting our newest staff with an additional 2 days. So it will cover things like some of our big systems, like using Frontline for staff absences, using PowerSchool for student absences. So yes, we are improving that process too. We have to enter attendance information consistently, and if students come in late, we have to go back and change. And so since preschool switched from the one preschool building to spread amongst our pre-K through 5 buildings, we had to adjust our system for that. Who comes back in and enters if a student comes in late? Is it the admin assistant in the front of the school? Is it the preschool teacher? Is it our FRC folks who support us with preschool attendance a lot? So we have better systems now to make sure that we're reflecting in PowerSchool what is actually happening, who is actually sitting in our seats. We have to change our mindset. There is, and I would say this is pervasive, not just Norwich, but there's kind of an understanding or a belief that preschool attendance does not matter. It doesn't matter for the regular K to 5 reports that we pull for the state with attendance, that is true, but there is a direct correlation with future high school dropouts. There's correlation with all of the things that more likely to be identified with disabilities, things like that. So attendance does matter in preschool. It's a little bit different. We're kind of looking at the long range effect of preschool attendance, not necessarily a report to the state. But it does.
Does it affect funding at all?
Yes, that was the words right out of my mouth. It does affect our funding, so our students have to come to school in order for us to be reimbursed per child per month by the state. We started this mantra last year, pre-K every day. It was a catchy little slogan. Preschool teachers love making things like t-shirts, and so one of them has gone a little extra wild with making t-shirts that say pre-K every day, which is awesome. I should have worn it tonight. But this just goes out. Yeah, I mean sparkles and all sorts of things on the t-shirt. So, but it's a really good reminder for parents, and I'll be sending out a reminder over Parents Square soon to remind them that preschool children should come to school every day, you know, as long as they're not throwing up, having diarrhea or a fever, we welcome them in school. We're accustomed to wiping runny noses and taking care of kids who might feel a little under the weather, and that we want them to come to school as long as they're healthy to do so. And then on the left, it does tell you, and on the right it does too, all of those correlations to the long-term impacts of preschool attendance. So we measure our progress according to 1 year's time. We expect students to make 1 year of growth in 1 year's time. So some of the data that you received in the report that I submitted for the board meeting tonight directly relates to the proficiency. So we know that our students will make the most growth in all of the skills that we measure if they're in school as much as possible. So these will be going out again soon, and then we'll zhuzh them up a little bit and kind of rebrand them for the next round. So this is the trees. These are just the more specific strategies that some of what we've started and some that we need to still improve upon. Some of the barriers that we have to deal with preschool attendance are somewhat out of our control. Preschoolers have to have a flu shot. They have to actually have 2 flu shots, 28 days apart. by the return after our school break, so by the first of the year. Laura Dietrich partners beautifully with me on trying to make sure that we stay on top of communicating this to families. We start now, because some pediatricians do have their flu shots available already, so we try to get the kids in to either their own pediatrician, we set up flu shot clinics, we work with our school-based health center, and then we also communicate all of the local flu shot clinics that might be going on around the town.
Is that,
Do our nurses have any stats on these shots, like any
Actually,
results of
we-
this age group getting 2 flu shots?
They're half doses, that's why they get 2.
I can't hear you.
They're half doses, that's why they get 2.
It just makes it a
Even
little
that-
harder.
Well, that's
for-
good, at least that,
If
but
they've already had the shot before, then they only have to get 1.
Right, but if a child who has never had a flu vaccine, which is not a required
right, so that
school
obviously is a
vaccine,
state mandate.
that
Yeah, it's a state mandate.
hopefully soon not to be.
I just
Yeah.
hope they have some kind of results on the, I mean, how long has
I
this
mean,
been
has
in
anyone
effect?
watched what's going on in Congress right now with vaccines and the link to autism and the unhealthy
That's why
chronic
I-
diseases of our children?
We've gotta stop right now, we're getting way off track of where we need to be.
Well, I can say whatever I want as I'm an elected official, thank you.
We have to stay focused on the agenda, what we're working.
This was on the agenda, I had a question.
Yeah.
Thank
it's
you.
on there.
I'll shut up now.
No, you're absolutely right, we all have that great concern, you know, and I didn't even know that this was in
Yeah.
effect now.
And it's just another, it's difficult to get your young children, and sometimes the preschoolers aren't the youngest, they'll be children younger than that, and to get them to the doctors twice, 28 days apart, it's just an extra added requirement that we're asking. We do stay up on all of the new regulations that come through the state, and Laura is on top of that, and we work together to make sure that, you know, if this were to go away tomorrow, we would be on top of that, so that our families know what's most, the most current requirement is. We do a lot of outreach. We have about 4 people constantly working on this because we're usually down to the wire, and last year we had only 3 who weren't able to come back to school after the new year. So that was a large improvement from the year before. I think the year before it was in the 20s. So I think our efforts have been paying off there. Some other things that we don't really have control over, our Moriarty program, parents provide the transportations, and sometimes things happen, cars break down, money is tight for gas, things like that, so we often see our kids in our preschool program at Moriarty impacted by hardships that their families are encountering, so we also noticed that the full year program at Moriarty was the last to recover with our enrollment efforts over the last 2 years. And now ironically, it's the most requested program. So it kind of did a complete 180, and now we have kids on the wait list for that program. So, but the data that you saw here was that prior year. So we were still doing a lot of marketing, not this past summer that just went by, but the summer before that, we did specific marketing to increase the enrollment for that program. And it paid off, so we have a lot of students coming into that program now, which is great.
You mean, so we have some kind of funding in place to help people?
We mainly help them access what the town has available. So for instance, our FRC is instrumental in doing this work. Our Family Resource Center helps families get money so that they can get their car repaired.
I didn't know we did that.
Yep, it's not always available,
Right.
but through our connections with some of the social service agencies, we can help with that. The Seat Bus Company has an ADA bus with 24 hours advance notice. We can help families access that bus to receive transportation to anywhere, doctor's
What
appointments.
funds pay for that?
Well, we have bus tickets. We have complimentary bus tickets.
But I mean, even like if they have to use one of the mini buses.
That's the bus ticket, yeah, we have
Oh,
complimentary
even bus
seat bus tickets,
that
yeah.
are paid for elsewhere, paid
Yes.
for by another source.
Or donated. So yeah, we really just utilize the resources in the community and just link the families to the resources that already exist but might be a little
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Really?
It's really good when we all come together and work together on this, we can pull some extra benefits out for families. The preschool program at Moriarty has a 12-month program, so they run all summer long and we see lower enrollment in the summer. Families do go away on vacation or they simply just want a break from the routine, and so our enrollment does go down in the summertime for that program. And then our registration process, there are requirements for registration that we try to stand true to, so that when a student walks through our door, we have all their demographic information, all their emergency contracts. We need to make sure that they're medically cleared. We also need to make sure that transportation is set up flawlessly because we don't want a 3-year-old on the wrong bus. We did a large outreach this summer to make sure that all of our preschoolers had bus tags because about half, even a little more of our preschoolers have disabilities and sometimes aren't able to communicate their first name even. So we had kind of a bus tag blitz at the beginning of the year where we made sure that children had bus tags to prevent.
Especially if they're absent a lot, getting that consistency.
Yeah, that's super important for them, especially at that young age. So for those reasons, there is somewhat of a delay through the registration process. We tried to mitigate that a little bit by taking that on so that Shelby didn't have to do that by herself in the registration office or with her help in the registration office. So we register children through our office now, so that we can try to make it go as fast as possible. It's still not fast enough. We wish it could be faster, and we'll continue to polish our practices so that it gets more efficient, but there is somewhat of a lapse there. So, and then our preschoolers' attendance often reflects the well-being of the family, and so if families struggle, preschool children come to school less often. So we aim to service the whole family system so that the preschooler can benefit. There aren't a lot of preschoolers who don't want to come to school. They have so much fun when they're in school with us. So, but sometimes if a family is struggling, if there's mental health issues, financial issues, we'll notice that there's a correlation with preschoolers not coming to school.
Plus, if you help them early enough, the family, that sets the whole family up and the student for future success as they go into school.
Yep. We know that we are the first experience, and so we try to match our customer service, which is very important, especially at this young age, so that the entire family has a good experience with us. Obviously, we make mistakes and we're not flawless, but we know how important that is just as a welcome into the district. We made this request form. Let's see if it's gonna pop up here. Uh-oh. Maybe I'm not gonna be able to do it. All right, well, I don't think I can show it to you, but this link goes to a Google form because last year we surveyed our
We can open
family.
it.
What's that?
We can open it.
Oh, you can open it? Perfect. Thank you. So we surveyed our families in our district to see what they knew about our Family Resource Center. We surveyed them to hear how we might be able to improve our Family Resource Center. And one thing we heard most is that they didn't quite understand what the Family Resource Center could do. So we made a Google form to try to help that. Cindy's taking this Google form on the road to all of the staff meetings, the first staff meetings of the year, maybe the first couple staff meetings of the year. And really what it does is it allows our teachers to know what the FRC has available. It lists all the services from helping with toileting, financials, utility assistance.
Snacks, probably everything. But does that go home to the parents other than?
Yes.
Because that's the thing, a lot of people don't know anything about Google, don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Even
this
if it's
form
a
is
link.
set up so that it can be completed by a family, because some of our families feel somewhat uncomfortable sharing their needs like that, and so they may want to fill that out for themselves And then it also allows someone to refer the family. So teachers can
Oh, it
fill it
does.
out, principals can fill it out, or families can fill it out for themselves.
One question I have, is it available in other languages?
Not yet.
Thinking that
It
too.
will be, yes. It isn't yet. We did put this on the website just so that we could get it out there. But we will translate it into other languages.
There's also a very important question there. Is it easier if FRC staff comes to your home? So they can actually go to the home and help the family with the form?
Yes.
And
I'm sure you've had that probably, right?
Yes, we do that as much as possible. When we go, we often bring gifts, so we'll bring flashcards for the family or diapers or, you know, things that just let the families know that we can help in all sorts of ways. And really this helps kids just come to school more. Helps families feel like they can meet the needs to come to get their little ones to school some more.
I don't know if that would create a barrier or not, the requirement for the phone number and the email address at start, 'cause I know there are some people I know who may not have email address, they may have a
That's why
phone
I asked
number,
about
so
the
it's like
hard form.
having that hard. If they're family members, we should be able to look them up in our system if they provide us with their name. So I just wanted just to note that that might be a barrier.
That's good feedback. I can unstar that, which would make it not required for them to submit this form, and then we could make it more accessible.
You just have a spelling error, and coordinator at the top.
A coordinator, it's like a gladiator.
Like
I like
gladiator.
I do like
Gladiator.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Sorry, it's just a thing
No,
I have.
that's okay. So new initiatives, we did meet at the beginning of the school year and we involved Patrice Marandina, our coordinator of strategic initiatives, to see what else we might be able to do to make this process better and more aligned with what's happening in K through 5. And these are some of the things that came out. We'll have a preschool representative attend monthly attendance team meetings with our coordinator of strategic initiatives so that we can partner a little bit more closely. And then we'll start to use the same language that they use in terms of the tiers of support. So we'll just follow in line with what's happening so that when a family's starting to hear that in preschool, hopefully it'll carry through more seamlessly into the older grades and be less confusing, intimidating, off-putting to families. We're adding an attendance goal to the preschool strategic plan, just so that, where you focus attention, hopefully we'll have some more outcomes, so we'll do that. The seat bus ADA collaboration is getting underway. For now, we've been telling families about it, but Cindy Beauregard through our FRC is making a relationship with the seat bus company so that we can utilize that as effortlessly as possible for families. I've been added to the attendance spreadsheet that Stefan puts out so that I can monitor that weekly. That will help me stay on top of the errors, and see where training is needed for our staff putting the data in, so we can have cleaner data to look at. And then our preschool attendance policy did change. We had a new revision of the preschool policy book for parents that went out about mid-year last year. And it used to be that students would be discharged from our preschool program if they had 10 absences in a row. It has changed to be 10%, which is more in line with what the state definition of truancy is. So we stay on top of that and we try to keep kids in at all costs, but there are some instances. For example, we have some students who haven't shown up since they completed registration but haven't attended school since the start of the school year this year. So I did a couple of home visits today and we kind of split that work and reach out and see if that might be the case, and we find out that families moved. So they've been marked absent this whole time, yeah, but they moved. So we do lose some kids to that, and so we discharge them in those cases. Then we're going to include our attendance and engagement liaisons at preschool events. That way, even though our Family Resource Center team, we meet weekly and review all of the chronic attendance concerns, and we assign actions to people. So it might be Corey has to make a phone call to this family and see if there is, something that we can do to support them. And then the next week we come back and it's like, okay, Corey, did you call that family? So we try to hold each other accountable with really following through and doing the actions that were assigned the week before. We take that off of the attendance and engagement liaisons because they're doing that K-8. But we could partner better with them so that they have representation at our events and start to make the relationships with families while they're in preschool so they don't have to start over when the students get to kindergarten.
Corey, can I ask you a quick question? Do you have any idea what percentage of the kids are actually taking the buses versus being driven regularly?
We're figuring that out now. First student is really diligent about letting us know who is not riding the bus. And we just started getting those check-ins from them. They'll email us and say, okay, these 3 students haven't been on bus 34 for 7 days. Can you reach out? And that's
Reach out, right? And they had to do an opt-in form also?
I think we set it up for all of the
Yours was
preschoolers.
separate, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it. We tried to do the big picture. We tried to specify it to the more personalized approach, and that's our plan for now. But we are very interested in making the attendance better.
Yeah, well, especially since attendance is linked to reimbursement, we've got to get that nailed down.
I was trying to remember, I'm sorry, but the number has slipped my mind. How many students do we have in each preschool class?
It's different based on the size of the classroom. So we have classrooms as small as 11 and as large as 20.
You have sizes, I'm sorry.
As small as 11 and as large as 20.
And then the larger ones, they have a teacher, a certified teacher.
A certified preschool teacher that's dual certified in special education, and 2 paraprofessionals.
In the larger number classes. So say the 11 classes of 11 would have a certified teacher, would they have 1 para?
Usually 1 para, and the way it worked out is we have some students with 1-to-1 paraprofessionals for safety reasons. And the way it worked out is there's a teacher, a classroom para, and a 1-to-1. So
they'll help out if they're a team player.
And the other big difference is because we have to monitor ratios consistently throughout the day, we are able to put more students in the classrooms that have bathrooms because the ratio is never a concern. But if we have to bring students down the hall to use the restroom, then we're constantly calculating the ratio, making sure that the staffing is right. These teachers are amazing, these pairs are amazing, they keep track of a lot of things all at once. So yeah, that's just one more thing we do each day. Any other questions?
And then with Beth By retiring, we have good relations. I guess the assistant, she was here for the Otis event, so
Yes, she was, yeah.
she introduced herself to all of us, so.
Yep, we talked to her, Elena Trueworthy a lot, we talked to Michelle Levy a lot. We were granted the 2 additional Smart Start classrooms, so we'll be able to go from 15 classrooms to 17 classrooms. And those classrooms will have roughly 15 to 18 students each, so that's big for us because after the request for the 12-month program are the requests for the school day program, so we couldn't meet the needs with what the parents were wanting. So now we'll have 1 more school day classroom at Moriarty and 1 more school day classroom at Mahan, which gets us a little bit closer to our goal of 20 for when we have our new buildings.
Yes, it's a lot though, 17 classrooms.
Yeah, it's a lot. we have more preschoolers than you could ever imagine. We have a wait list right now, so as soon as we open.
That's why we gotta get rid of those people not showing up, right?
Yeah, right, and make room for the people who are going to.
That's what I was concerned about, people waiting to wanna be in.
And how are our relations with private preschool providers?
We have great relationships. A lot of that also goes through the Family Resource Center because one of the components of that grant is that we do outreach to all of the home daycare centers. So Cindy does make contact and supports with some of those home daycare centers. And then we're in meetings all the time with folks from Global Child, TVCCA, some of the others. And we may have to call upon them. We came very close last year to not having enough space in ours, so we would need to partner with those facilities for students, say with special education needs that we don't have a slot for here. So we have kind of backup plans in the works right now, just in case we get to a position where we still don't have enough slots, even if we have 17.
That's really good, though. It's really.
How
So
did
you
the
would refer
closing
the
of a
parent to that facility?
Yes, and often they know because they're quite often hooked into 2 or
Already
1.
I've been through it, right?
And how did the closing of a couple of these church groups that were in existence affect us?
I don't know too much of an effect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they were absorbed
Yeah.
easily into our program.
I think so. Sometimes we don't know exactly where the students came from until they get through our doors. So we may have, for instance, in the Lee Memorial Church, when that closed, we had an immediate rush of families calling us, and we could help some of them. I noticed one dad was here tonight, and luckily through the Rose Arts Festival, and just being there, we made some connections with the families who were looking for spaces. So we were able to accommodate some, but not all.
Thank you for all your efforts.
Any other questions for Corey? Nope.
Thank you, Corey.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Corey.
Thanks, Corey.
Okay, unfinished business. Luckily, we finished our business in June and we have no unfinished business. So we'll go on to committee reports. Budget and ad hoc, that process will start later in the year and that'll take us right into April. But that doesn't start until what, December, January?
Ad hoc won't start until probably April.
Yeah, but your process,
We already start now. For the first
It's
payroll.
forever.
We're back.
yeah, I know,
That
it's
kind of
forever.
serves as the base for next year going forward.
But meetings with us,
Yeah, then that'll be winter, December,
Yeah.
January.
so really not till 26, we gotta worry about that.
You can enjoy the holidays.
Yeah. Okay, negotiations, we've started teacher negotiations and we'll have a whole bunch of meetings between now and the end of October when we sort of have to wrap that up by state statute, so. We've had one meeting and that went well, so we'll see. School building, you wanna comment, Christine, or not?
I thought that was very nice what Mike Fienza did at the convocation. I'm happy he was invited and did that little overview. I still would like to get some signs though, some pictures and things to have available for people to see, like for that chat, for things like that. That's why, I don't know why they hold back on that we have a set of pictures just so we can keep them at a central location and have them available at community events, especially ones that are held here. So I
It's a
think
great
we
idea.
need
I
to
know
push for that.
Stanton has them at Stanton, but you're right, we should probably have some here to show off on the
I
days that we
didn't
have
even
those.
realize they were over there.
They've been
'Cause-
over there, yep.
Yeah, cause remember I had asked about it at one of the committee meetings and it was like, but why not, It's like, people wanna see, they wanna see, it's exciting, And like Stanton, it's a little hard for anybody, they're like, could I drive back there? And Greenville though, I mean, it's just amazing, it really is. But no, so, you know, we have everything in place for the last two projects. Well, not everything, but which is the renovations of Huntington to make it adaptable for the offices and the other uses that it will become.
We hired CSG as the
Several things there,
as the
so.
rep for
No.
teachers.
Yeah, overall, there wasn't too much going on, but if you drive by any of the sites, don't be hesitant to,
And the
you know,
steel is going up on, the bridging will start very shortly
and
for
great,
Stanton.
they have the foundation all in at Stanton, so you can drive back on that other side. You know, they have the one side blocked off, you can at least get a little bit of a look. And I mean, they don't want us just coming up anytime, but hey, to say you're a board member and, you know, somebody will be more than welcome to show you because
And if you
we're-
want, you can
we're
just
paying their bill.
contact Carolina over at Stanton and she'll open the back door for you and you can.
Yeah,
back
especially the
door
back,
view.
the back door. See, when I went, I was just stopping and chatting with one of the guys, working on putting in the wiring from the main road to the back. And then the site, I forget, we have so many titles for everybody. He said, hey, you wanna come back, you know, and he walked me back there. That was just when they were clearing, you know, very cordial and, you know, and I was like, I don't wanna hold you up, you know, but very nice. I mean, everybody we've dealt with so far has been very, I mean.
The main
right,
utility
Susan,
work
I know, has been
from
thrilled
the
with all
road,
the
from
staff.
London Turnpike to the site has been
Yeah,
done,
that's what I
so.
mean, actually went back, so, but don't hesitate to take a look. Greenville, you can just pull up to the gate, and if it's open, you can even just pull in a little bit, and it's not, I mean, it's not much to see yet, but it's moving along, it's amazing. It's
There's
amazing.
probably another month to 6 weeks of blasting over there at Greenville. And they have 2 rock crushers that are
Oh, yeah, and
working
that's been going
continuously.
on, so it's
And they're
just
just hauling
very
tons and tons
expensive
of material on
site.
there.
And that's pretty much it, things are moving right along and, you know.
Oh, and Mike did send me an email. He needs a special meeting of this board, probably on the 23rd.
September?
Of September, yeah, because they have to resubmit an application because of the lag time with the transformers and electrical equipment that's gonna be coming in on site, cause it's like a year lead time, 52-week lead time on that equipment.
It's gonna be Zoom.
So I would imagine it'll be a Zoom meeting, so.
You know that the 23rd.
Yeah, it would
The
be-
23rd
be
is a
like-
Tuesday.
Yeah, but we already have a policy meeting at 4.
Well, okay, yeah, so
That
what's a
seems like
good
a kind
time
of a
for
long-
people to,
It seems like a little bit of a long day for people.
yeah, but
Already
this
working.
this should be quick. I
Oh,
would
yeah,
say,
this won't be long.
I would
It
say
won't.
20 minutes tops.
It's just to approve it. We
Yeah.
we had them all summer for, not all summer, but you know, we
So,
always have meetings when this changes.
Can I get a consensus as far as what people are available for
I think we'll
6
definitely
on
have a
the
quorum,
23rd.
right? Will we have a
after
quorum?
6 on the 23rd?
I already have an addendum.
I am not available.
And does this have to be in person or?
No, Zoom.
It's gonna be on Zoom. So in that case.
Zoom noon.
Yeah, I
It
have
would be at
something at
noon.
5:30 that I probably won't be done.
So would you say 6:30? Would that be a good time for everybody?
She has a conflict.
I
She has
have a
a
conflict. At 5:30, I won't be done till probably 8 o'clock.
As long as we have a quorum though, right, Mark?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking
Yeah.
for.
So.
So I'd need at least 5
This is
members.
clear.
23rd?
Yeah,
John is in.
John,
Yep, I'll be in too.
Kevin, myself,
I can do it.
I can be there.
okay. And Greg,
We have negotiations that night, I may be able to jump out
all right,
to jump online.
like I say, it may be 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I don't know. I'll ask Mike to see what his timeline would be, what he would need for time. Just to present and get a quick vote.
What time did you say?
I would say 6:30.
you say, the 23rd?
The 23rd, yeah,
Via Zoom.
via Zoom. So I'm sure we don't wanna all meet here.
It will take, especially for
It'll-
the time that.
I mean, for the
travel
amount
is
of time we're gonna spend on approving one thing, you'd spend more time in your car than here. All right, what's the next committee? Oh, transportation, oh, no, transportation, yes.
Alright, so I apologize for being tardy this evening, so I missed some of the conversation about transportation, so some things may be repeated, but repetition is not necessarily a bad thing. So the Transportation Committee met yesterday evening. The first thing that we discussed was the First View app. The First View app is being rolled out right now, and Maria and Susan are working on a survey going out to parents in Parent Square to talk about the First View app with a focus on a constant improvement of that app and the ability for folks to be able to track where the buses are and when the pickups will occur.
Greg, I have an update for that. So there is
Please.
a brand new app that has to be downloaded and that was sent out to all the families today, saying that there's a new one, it's an updated app and you have to download that.
Right, so
So
there's
we'll
gonna,
wait for that to come out and then we'll do a survey to see if there's still
alright,
issues.
yeah, so this, I know the survey's not out yet, we're working on that, so is it still called the First View app, the new app?
Yes.
Alright, so there's a new First View app that will be coming out, and then shortly after that, there'll be a survey to get some feedback on how well it's working. There was a discussion of the group stop protocol, with door-to-door stops only happening at the pre-K level. All kindergarten and first grade students, that get transportation are not let off the bus or on the bus without their parents being there. So they're always around. Otherwise, there's group stops that are spaced out based on age. They're, further away for the high school kids and close together for younger students. The notification for bus stops this year went out about a week before school starts. It has to be that way because there has to be a balance of both accuracy and the ability to give advance notice. If the notifications were going out sooner, there'd be so many changes happening between the time the notification went out and the school year start that it wouldn't be functional. As far as the opting in policy, Maria only received a handful, about 5 phone calls of people saying that they didn't know they had to opt in. Over 85% of parents that were currently on the list did fill it out and did send it in. There were some that had to get a spot at the last second because they did not opt in within the time frame that was set up. The notice for this did go out in different languages as well. Bus rates went up 5% this year, and there's an expectation they're gonna go up by a similar amount next year. The year after, we're gonna be in a new contract, and there's expected to be a significant increase at that point. Other districts that have had to renew contracts have been seeing much larger increases. For this reason, there's a team, Susan, Bob, Josh Pothier, the city manager, they're looking into a bus yard space now, which will help us to get a better contract when that time comes around. The group stops this year, so that should have gone before, have saved over $280,000, as Bob had said before, on the bus's daily cost. And we're going to know more about even possibly more savings once we understand what the hourly rate savings will be, because of the elimination of a few of the buses. There's a plan to put some of those savings towards interventionists in our school.
I'll wait till you're done.
Okay. Then there is the discussion of the did I talk about that before? The policy change? No, I didn't, because I left that for before here. So we are going to be looking to update our policy in the transportation policy to reflect the practice that we're going to have when there are safety concerns. Whenever Maria receives any of those, the parent is listened to, the concern is discussed. It's investigated internally first with the family and then with First Student, the bus company. If it is deemed safe by First Student, then the SRO would also be sent out to double check that spot as well. And the SRO, within our policy, we want to have them to be a designee, SRO and also Bob Serpensky to be designees of the superintendent to approve spots and routes as safe. There is going to be a meeting on September 18th for a lot of the within-district team players related to transportation to discuss registration, transportation, and efficiency, and what we can do moving forwards. That's a summary of the Transportation Committee report.
My first question was, money saved from the group stops being put towards interventionists. Why is there a need for more interventionists? That's what's my first. Are we having more incidents of bad behavior or?
Interventionists are for academics. Academic
That
intervention.
would make sense. Okay.
Academic intervention.
Alrighty, and then, well, Greg, you missed most of the testimony, so,
Yeah.
how will they, I mean, like, how will the issues be addressed now? Like, I mean, who takes over with that, the transportation committee? All the issues that were brought up tonight, like,
Who's gonna reach out to everybody?
or do they go out to Maria?
Monday
Does
morning,
Maria
there was a
address
group
them
that
all?
actually,
I just wanted to
of
make sure.
board members,
Yeah, I know, that's
Susan,
for one
we
group.
went up to Briar Hill
Yeah,
where
to
a lot
Briar
of
Hill.
those
Can you
complaints were
discuss that?
tonight.
Yes, I
Because
can.
Briar
There
Hill
was
was
Cherry
a
Hill.
big talking point for public
Sure.
comment
Yeah, there was
tonight
also Cherry Hill.
regarding
And
that
Cherry Hill.
stuff.
Many of them.
Yep.
So can you discuss Briar Hill, please?
Absolutely. So, Maria has received and called back over 200 different
Yeah.
parents who have contacted her. And so she's really the point person when it comes to when there's concerns or complaints. And so she's investigating each of those things, and working with First Student and working with the SRO as appropriate to check out and investigate any concerns that are being raised. That one area up on Briar Hill, myself and Superintendent Lassard and John Iavino and Officer McKinney, it's just the four of us, and Bob Serpensky, on Monday morning, went up to the top of Briar Hill Road and walked down that route to check out the walk and the safety of it. That road is a one-way, it's a dead-end road, not a one-way road. It's a dead-end road in our entire walk. There were two cars that were driving on the road at that time, and those were both people who lived on that street and were going down to the bottom of the hill to where the stop was to drop off their kids down there. We did see that where the stop is right now, there's a street that needs to be crossed going up to the apartments by Briar Hill Road, and there's also like a barrier or a divider or a fence that when there's plowing, if there's snow, would make it very difficult for that more safe route to be passed. So there was discussion and proposal to move the spot to a spot that's off the road away from Route 82, but would take out the need to have to cross the street. So the students that live in those apartments would still have that spot there, but anybody coming down Briar Hill would have a separate spot that they could be picked up at. I don't believe that change has been made yet. It has been made. Oh, wow, that was fast.
Well, most of the parents, the complainants that how far, like one of the girls and her parents were here, lives on the last house on Briar Hill. And they're just, I know that area well, and I know that it's a time element for the buses, of course, because you have to go up, there's no,
You couldn't even go to
places
the
to
end of that
turn.
road. You
Yeah.
couldn't go to the end of that road with a bus, it wouldn't be.
Where they were
there's
on
no
No,
way
I
to
mean,
go.
I mean,
that
no, I
turn
know
back
when it
and
go
turn
the end,
around.
I mean, if it found one of, a meeting,
That's where we moved the middle
place,
school
right,
and elementary
where,
kids.
like they did before, right? And because I know time-wise, especially with NFA starting so early, and I know with all that, because then they have to get the bus have to come all the way down, and it's hard right there, and come out and then go up into, I know there was an issue with buses last year with the next neighborhood on the right, with Teddy Lane area, because the bus at the time wasn't going all the way up to the top of Lauren Lane, and there was a little girl that was having to walk down, and Maria had addressed that issue for me last year, the year before. But I just think it really has that Briar Hill area. I know it's gonna add in probably, but these people have a valid issue. And they need to have a spot up on that hill somewhere, like mid, like you said, where the other one was or something. I
Well,
think
they're
that
asking
has to be
for it
looked
to
at.
be in the same spot as the middle school and elementary
Yeah.
school pickup.
So
Yeah,
what-
cause
what-
I know,
I don't
I know it's
understand
a
why it
time
can't
element,
be.
that's what it's
6
all
o'clock in the
about, cause
morning.
I'm all for high schoolers walking a ways, but knowing that hill and everything that can go on that hill, and the way people drive but I think it's, and with having 82 down below, and like they said, a lot of the parents said it, people don't stop at the stop sign, and I know they don't, and I know it's dead end going this way, but I just,
Now,
I think
I have
there has to be
I have a
more.
question, is it, what is the actual difference? Like, if they get picked up at the cul-de-sac, or if they get picked up where we just said it now, is there a cost difference, is there a time what is, I just don't know, it doesn't, if we've got I drove, it doesn't, to me, it seems like stopping on that main road is gonna waste more time trying to go around than going down a cul-de-sac and whipping around, I don't know.
No, those,
And if you've got your elementary kids there and your middle school kids there, why not put the high school kids there a little bit later? Why don't we have more safe bus stops and less unsafe millions of bus stops?
I would like to look too at that Cherry Hill area.
I think that definitely has to be all
That
looked at.
one,
Yeah, I
and
didn't see that.
The one in my neighborhood, Fernwood, up there, there's no people, where I try to pull out, kids are coming.
Mhm.
I almost hit one the other day, I can't see pulling out when cars are coming around that corner, and there's a really lot of trees that they just cut back, but kids, you're not able to see them. And now where both stops, I go that way and I take a left to go to Mahan, down by Bowegas. And the other morning, there was 8 cars, there was kids getting in and out, running around this big group, and there's no place to stand. It was really, first I almost hit one coming where I can't see, it's a blind corner, I can't see cars, and I almost miss these kids, and there's no sidewalk. And when the snow comes, I'm really concerned there, and I was really concerned the Rockwell Street. That was an issue I had a long time ago.
Well, I
and
couldn't
walked.
grasp, Chris, did you get where she lived? I heard the number, but I'm
On
trying.
Rockwell Street?
Yeah, that's the one you
Kimberly
just
Scott.
mentioned too, right?
The video that traveled down that route, yeah, she's on 131 Rockwell.
Cause there's no sidewalks and people fly on that road.
I know it's important and we
And
have to
there's-
save money, but I don't know, but I don't think anybody understands too what we got in percentage of increase from the town. We got 1%, like with the transportation going up. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a balance, but we can't put at the safety
We can't
of,
put at the safety of our
Well,
I
yeah,
know we
'cause-
have to save money where we can, but I'm really worried
There's
about
also,
the issue of this.
one of the things that needs to be considered is consistency in the way that we're doing everything. Because equity and fairness matters.
It
So exceptions are granted. There's been 16 that have been granted so
Yeah,
far
I
this
talked to a
year.
parent and
And-
Maria fixed it.
And there will be more in the future, but it always has to be considered that if we grant an exception in this case, then all similar cases also need to be granted.
Yeah.
And that can become a domino effect that will eat up
We
all of
should
those
do that.
savings and put those buses back into.
Unfortunately, that's our
We have to
job,
keep
is
our
to
kids
protect the
safe,
students that are coming
because-
to our schools to get an education.
Especially in the
Safety
dark,
is
in the
first.
dark.
One of the things in the
Getting
report.
picked up at 6:15, 6:30, when it's dark out.
Each
One
one
of
of
the
each
things I
one of these
questioned in the report
situations
too was under the section addressing safety concerns regarding sex offenders. And Maria doing what she can, that isn't enough, we just have to correct it. I mean, we can't have kids
Every-
walking by sex offenders.
Anytime
homes.
that there's someone that's a registered stop, she changes the spot.
Yep,
The procedures that we have in place have to.
I'm sorry, John, I can't hear you.
Okay, we have a procedure in place
Mhm.
to check out safety issues.
Oh, I know you're doing that all
No, not
good.
we, I'm not.
No, I mean with SRO, I understand all
Okay,
that.
so we have a policy and we have a procedure in place. When
I
the
read it all.
determination comes back,
Mhm,
what do you wanna do with it?
mhm.
And Greg, I hear you. If we follow what we have to follow and
Mm-hmm.
we rely on the people that we have to rely on their judgment to make that judgment, that's what we have to do.
Mhm.
Look,
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, the
we're
half
all on
hour
the same
before
try,
and
page,
after
we're all on the
sidewalks.
same page
Can
for
I ask-
safety and concern. That's why each one is looked at, each one is taken as an individual situation and deemed by the team that makes a decision on that. And for us to continue and say, no, we're gonna change, do this one and do that one and do this one. To your point, we were at chaos. We got into a problem last year when we started enforcing students having to walk. And why was it such a nightmare? Because for 4 years, nothing was
I know.
enforced. So that's the dilemma that
People
we
didn't like
run.
change.
And it's not all about money, well, it's not all about money, but 1%, yeah, we can argue all that stuff we want to. But as long as we have a policy that we agree on and that's in place, we need to follow and stay with that.
Okay, so my question is, I understand that we
I know
have
all
a
that.
policy set in place, but what about the parents who are not happy with the decision? There has to be,
Don't
there's,
vote for me,
what?
don't vote us in.
Okay, but I'm just saying that there has to be another way around, what, is
They
this a
come-
final, I'd like to finish speaking,
I'm sorry,
please.
Heather. Go ahead.
Cause you're getting me frazzled and I'm not gonna be able to finish my thought.
All right, Heather, I'm sorry.
So what I'm trying to say is that the final say? What are we supposed to tell these people that still have a safety concern? They pay $9,000 in taxes and they have to worry every day that their kid's gonna get hit by a car on the way to school?
That
One of them's already had their son mowed down
Briar Hill is.
with no accountability taken.
Briar Hill is.
So what do you want the?
So I'm curious as to how I direct my constituent the right direction. If we can't do anything, who can? Who do I direct her to?
Heather,
All
what
right,
you're not,
Heather,
what you're
please.
forgetting is that
I'm not
this
forgetting
is-
anything.
No, this is our policy. If as a board
I
member,
understand and I'm asking
this is
a
our
question. We're
policy,
having a discussion about
I'm
this.
just saying, if you wanna revisit the transportation policy that
I'm
we
sorry
have in
that I was
place,
not
you
eligible.
can ask that be
I was put on the
revisited.
committee and then I wasn't considered that I work on Mondays. I'm sorry, no, stop.
Okay.
I have a question. Is it an end-all final say, or who do I direct my constituent to take it further? I guess you're gonna have to go to the state. Go to the state, because apparently I can't get your question
Heather,
answered.
Heather.
No,
Yourself.
no, if I.
You're out of order.
He was out of order
You're
when he
out
told
of
me to stop
order.
speaking earlier, but you didn't gavel then, did you, Mark? No, only gavel Heather.
No, let's, okay, let's.
When you're out of order, I will
He was out
gavel
of
you.
order when I was
Please,
speaking about a
Let's
comment.
take a moment.
No,
Take a moment, take it down your temperature a
then
little
please,
bit.
just answer the question.
We can talk civilly.
I tried.
Okay.
I was
We can
interrupted
talk-
6
we can-
times.
We can talk civilly.
Civility has went out the window when I can't finish a statement without
All right, the
these
meeting
two
is over.
interrupting
We
me.
will suspend the meeting and continue another day.
Good.
The policy.
Thank you.
Don't talk to me anymore. You were being rude and disrespectful and not letting me finish.